in and I want to be out. I don't invest in any of those SPACs.
Right.
It's a trade and only a trade.
Yeah, you know, like looking what happened at Nikola, and there's so many different SPACs that did not go properly. That is for sure. So a good look over there, Neil, talking about some of those. All right, man. Neil's going to have his apple fritter, it sounds like.
Well, I mean, I was waiting until...
Or are you going to save it for a post-lunch tasty treat?
I was waiting till I finished my morning fruit, my fruit salad.
Yeah,
and now that's done.
Eat the fruit first.
And then I was also going to not eat in front of you guys.
Okay, good. Although that hasn't really stopped us before.
I know. I get. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Randy, for going for that as well. Thanks, Neil, for treating for the protein because of the Movember talk that we had. So that was a good one. Enjoy that. You know, I'm just long the futures, waiting for a move higher, and we're going to go over to the midday, and they're going to have many different ideas as well. Adobo chicken, man, a Filipino treat is for lunch around here. Ciao till 2.
Yo, what's going on, Trader TV traders? I hope everyone's having a fantastic Friday. It's your boy Joe. Next to me is the one and only Obi-Wan Kenobi. What's going on, brother? How's everything?
Man, not too bad. How are you doing?
Nah, we're doing all right, man. We're doing okay. We can't complain. A couple trades this morning. Aside from that, Obi, let's get on to some roll call and see who we got in the chat. Let's start this off. Who do we got? Lone Sofas. What's going on? Juggernaut. What's up? Julian L. Dinkelberg. Who else do we got in here? Jacques. What's up, my friend? Red Sport. Yo, yo, yo. Big 40 nephew. Yannick Nesbitt. Buffalo Soldier. What's up, my friend? Pitbull. Scott Tomlinson. And who else? We have a couple more here. Stevenson. ATN. I haven't seen my guy, Mike P. The Rider. There he is. Good to see you in the chat as always, brother. Crypto Famo. What's cooking? Dino. One more here. Lemons family. We'll do one more. Ed Miller. And I see Obi in the chat as well, too. What's up, Passions? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day because is this a free fall Friday or what? I don't know. We
may or may not be more sellers than buyers.
There may or may not.
Just a guess?
We're just going to throw that out there.
Just a hint of a guess.
When the trend goes this way, you tend to have a little more sellers than buyers.
I have a question for you. Did you get short on anything yesterday?
Yeah, I think so.
Like TQs or Nvidia?
Yeah, I shorted.
Even like IBIT?
QBTS.
Perfect, nice.
I shorted QBTS
some quantum
yesterday.
shorts.
Yeah, that was the best
So a couple of days ago, we had that crazy sell-off at the end of the day in Nvidia. Yeah. Right? So aggressive sell-off. People were like, oh, that was because of imbalances. Oh, the selling started at like 3 o'clock. Someone was like, oh, someone must have known something from before. They definitely knew something from before. But what a crazy short Nvidia had just a couple of days ago. And yesterday, all day yesterday, this is something that I was talking to my pod members about. I'm just like, if we see a sell-off like that at the end of the day, in the last hour, and then that's confluenced with a heavy sell imbalance as well on Nvidia, and we tank into the close, what should we be looking for the next day?
Sellers.
Sellers, right? I think that's valid. I don't know if they're going to show up, but if you saw yesterday, sellers pretty much were dominant. All day today, sellers are still dominant. So I think the market kind of, some of these market leaders are speaking to us, I feel. Yeah,
absolutely. Right? No, I agree with you. Sentiment. I agree with you on that front. And again, when we see the aggressive selling, especially coming off those highs, you have talks around the market of it already being frothy. And we're in the middle of earnings season as well, too, guys. I think Obi's right, and it's a valid point, is that you just have to go with the flow at that standpoint. It's easier to do so than try to fight the longs, hence like what I did. Also, NVDA is putting in a substantial volume print right now, Obi. Sorry to like sidetrack, but I 100% wholeheartedly agree with you. There goes NVDA putting in an aggressive print right now, guys. You're not going to see it displayed. Let me pull up my other chart. Other than that, I'm going to show you what I was up to last night for the earnings plays. Steve M, we'll go over that momentarily. Mo, if you're in the chat, you had a question, just make sure you repost that, and I'll do my best to go over it. But here goes NVDA with a big-time 1-minute print. I'm curious if there's going going to be a news event because that's an outstanding volume candle right there on the 1 minute time frame. We can head over to the 5 minute to see if it's starting to increase, and it is. But the thing is, what I'm looking at right now is that doesn't close as a complete hammer. I like what Katina Man was pointing out on Google yesterday or earlier this morning as well too, as for what I'm specifically looking for, and he pointed out almost to a T what that algo was created for. And I also constructed another one yesterday. Nice. I haven't got as in depth with it. The script was constructed and I plugged it in, so there's still a little bit tweaking to do with that, Mo. Okay, so hold on, Obi, before we send it back to you, my brother, I'm in FDX 265 0 DTE calls. I'm down 40% with an average of 21 bucks or 21 cents in options terms. Do I have a chance? Let's pull up FDX. Did you put your 265 FedEx right here? Ooh, what's the high? Yeah, I don't know, brother. You might be in a little bit of trouble with right there. It's not looking too good, but again, anything can happen. Obviously, liquidity issues there on FDX. I mean, Super Chat, I love the show. We need more. Obi says, why? Thank you for that $5.
We need more of you.
Yeah, we need more of you. We need more of you, absolutely. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pull up. Steve M was asking. He's like, hey, Joe, when did you cover on TTD last night? So last night for the earnings report, guys, I was trading the trade desk. I was telling you guys, I was in the chat, is that, hey, earnings is actually one of my favorite times. Why? Because after the bell, the volatility gives you plenty of opportunities in the post-market to trade. So here it was on the trade desk. I was short at 45s, and then I loaded it up at 44s, and then we got that move down for approximately $5 to $6 on the trade desk. This is the 1 minute time frame. We can break out, and I can show you what it's like on the 5 minute time frame. The one thing that I love about this system and this strategy is that it's relatively straightforward, right? Like if you have a strong candle, print or a weak one, you just play the 5 minute range break. So after that announcement candle, you're patient, you wait for the top end of that to break or the lower end of that to break. And that was the case here in the TTD. And if you look for, I forget the ticker on Wednesday, I believe it was, that I was looking for, and then I ended up flipping long. I'll have to double check that. But it's relatively simplistic. And when we have such a vast amount of names reporting, not everyone's going to do this, but when you're going outside of the expected move, look for that continuation, and that's essentially what happened here in the trade desk. We got that pop all the way higher up to 55s, and then it rejected aggressively. Once it did that, I'm like, okay, the momentum is now to the downside. We had an aggressive selling situation. Let's just participate with the individuals and go with the flow, and that gave us the ability to put on that trade in the aftermarket there, guys, on the trade desk, Obi.
Yeah, no, I think something to watch out for are aggressive and excessive trends in this market. Sellers definitely in charge on the day today, but guess where I got chopped up? I got chopped up trying to sell some open door, and this door was definitely not open for me, at least to the downside. Buyers definitely in charge today. Bigger picture, this thing has been on a bit of a backside, and you guys already know how much I love the backside. Lower lows and lower highs here from that $10.97 area here. So we've kind of lost that umph that we were getting, but the thing is sideways consolidation, right? We still hold that $5 area. That $5 area, a little bit of a key area when it comes to stocks, and look at that beautiful bounce that we did get here off of that $5 area right off of the open. So I saw that, I was like, all right, cool, do that bounce, you know, get it, get that bounce off of that $5. Definitely a little bit of liquidity sitting there, but that reversion is coming up all the way up into some of those reference prices from earnings reaction highs. This is earnings, they had an earnings report last night, and you can see it was a bit of a shake and bake, but sideways consolidation closing near the lows of that consolidation going into the 8 p.m. close. In the pre-market session, I didn't really look at this overnight in Blue Ocean, but we hold that $5 pretty well with a nice little wick dance coming in off of that 9 a.m. I guess 9 a.m. candle here, and we get that continuation as of right now. So I did get chopped up. I was a little aggressive, so I got in here 570s much earlier. Let me make this a little bit larger so we all can take a look at this together. I got in here much earlier, 570s. I liked the short because I was just like, all right, where are you running? Why are you running? Of course, it's a little bit of a short flow, heavy stock, and if the bid comes in, you gotta be a little bit careful. And it's SSR, so I had to chase this down, man. I was trying to get short, so it stops me out in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
I was trying to get short 80s. I was trying to get short 70s. And I'm just like, oh man, this is not filling me. I'm posted, I'm trying different gates.
Oh, man.
I'm pushing in Frex just in case it bids up and catches me on the way down. And nothing catches. Finally, a post on 63s. 20 pennies later, I get filled, and I'm like, all right, get into VWAP. I might be a little bit tilted because I had to chase much further than I really wanted to. That was half of the move. I had to chase half of the move, 20 pennies down on a $6 stock. That's a pretty decent chunk, right? I'm like, all right, be a little bit more patient, get involved in a sideways chop, get chopped up. No real break of trend here. This was a bit of a break of trend. This was a rip up and stall right off of the open. I think it's valid for a potential reversion to VWAP, and it did give me that reversion to VWAP, but VWAP held pretty well, and we're holding strength on top of $6 as of right now, as OpenDoor potentially open for some fresh highs on the day today. What else did I trade here? Let's see. All right, so MP, I don't know if you saw this one today, Joe, but MP maximum power to the upside. This one is fueled with some sort of energy here. I have no idea, but let's see. NY is what it trades on. $55 was what it was testing. All right, thank you. This is what happens, man. I get stopped out, and then it comes in as of right now. So I get stopped out while I was away from my desk here. Wasn't really watching it. Above 55, I was risking against the 55 for a pull into VWAP. Stops me out, and then comes in. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm just seeing it now, to be honest. I didn't even know that I did get stopped out of this one because I just logged back into my account at this desk here. But we get that clean not really clean, but a reversion to VWAP nonetheless, from 55s down to 53 halves. It is what it is. I keep getting chopped up in this market where sellers are clearly more dominant than buyers, Joe. So where's the next trade? That's what I'm looking for. OpenDoor very strong. MP might be pulling back, but it's done what I was kind of looking for as of right now. So I'm waiting for the next trade. Let me know in the chat what you guys are looking at. Free Fall Friday says swirling brain. My brain's definitely swirling a little bit. Getting chopped up on the uptrend, I'm just like, the whole market's dropping down. This has got to catch a sell somewhere, but OpenDoor, with the story that it's had, I guess I was very, very much wrong on that one.
Yeah, it happens, man. That's just the nature of the beast. Obi, you know this better than anybody probably. Again, like, just going with the flow, I can take a little short attempt here. The reason why I'm going to continue on this short, I was posted. Oh, why does it do that? I'm thinking about going short here on Robinhood. It pains me to say that, but at the end of the day, we just got to go with the flow and see what everything else is going on. I want to tell you why here momentarily, so I'm going to see if I can catch it. All right, again, we're starting relatively small. I'm slightly red on the day. It's one trade away from going green. So once again, let's pull up, and this is what I'm referring to. So on multiple occasions, you can see that I have these support levels pointed out, and they're starting to snap. You can see them across the board on multiple names, right? Whether it be the TQs, and when these floors start to give out in this type of territory, in this bearish sentiment, the chances of that support breaking are relatively high. Let me get this volume down a little bit here. We're gonna go over to Adara, we'll get back to this.
Yeah, keep an eye here on these airlines, most specifically AAL or American Airlines. I did have a headline across the screen a couple of minutes ago with regards to flight cuts. Apparently, AAL has had 12,000 passengers impacted by Friday's FAA mandated flight cancellations. But now the CEO of AAL also warning that the flight reductions could be, quote, problematic as their carrier manages that cut. So again, CEO of American Airlines saying that these reductions, again, related to the shutdown, could be, quote, problematic. Back to you.
So let's go through the trades, I guess, right now, and then we'll get back to the support levels being broken. As for the intraday, take a break-even stop on that one. I'm like, okay, let's see if we're going to climb and get a bounce. If any name's going to bounce, I have a strong hunch that it's going to be NVDA. That hasn't been the case, and I didn't try to catch any bottom cents on this name, all right? Now, as for my second trade, AFRM, that's going to be an Affirm. So we caught a nice little pop to the top side in AFRM earlier in the day. It was one of the stronger earnings reports, so it was forming this consolidation and this bull flag. So I'm like, all right, let's post up. I am at the top end of the range, not ideal, but essentially if you catch the lower, your risk reward is drastically better. But we get this massive pop, about $1.50 or so to the top side. I take 75% off, and then sure enough, the momentum to the downside said, hey, we're not holding this anymore. We don't want to turn a winning trade into a loser, so we just get out, boom, right there. And I haven't attempted any more longs on AFRM. And then as for an additional one, did I trade TSLL? No, I don't think I did. It was TQs. So it was TQs on which I attempted a long, and then as soon as that stopped working, I'm like, no, all right, we're not playing this game today with this market trying to find this bottom, especially if we feel that we're frothy. These valuations are going through the roof and everything along those lines. So let's go with the flow, and that's essentially what I'm trying to do right now with some Robinhood. Again, one of my favorite stocks right now, starting to bleed in aggressive off the highs here. 152, we tapped into 153. Now we're $33 or $32 off of that specific level. It pains me, but at the end of the day, it's the market. Unfortunately, we can't always go up. That's not the nature of the beast. And we talked about this on multiple occasions, and there it goes, the floor being snapped on HOOD, support levels being broken, and this is exactly what we're looking for. Let's see if this can be sustained. But once again, I forget what I was about to say regarding something else. So I'm going to send it to you, Obi, while I gather my thoughts, and let's see if we can get Robinhood to sell a little bit.
No, I'm watching this Nvidia here because you did point out that volume candle a little bit earlier because I was just like, okay, maybe is this a capitulatory move? We got some strong volume signature there, and that volume bar bigger than even the open. But you know what? This was a 180 breakdown, so maybe 180 being a little bit of a key level here. I got to look back and check, but 180 holds maybe being a little bit of a key and giving us that volume on the initial breakdown of that level here, 180. So yeah, we keep continuing to sell off, man. So no sign of a bid, and where bid is what I keep asking. Where bid? I have no idea yet. But reversions is what I like. You guys know I love reversions, and I'm always looking for the backside of a move, whether it's to the long side or to the short side. And Nvidia definitely one that fulfills the criteria for me to start looking into the reversion here as of right now. But yeah, let me know in the chat. Do you guys see anything that's overextended like crazy? You might ask, how do I measure overextensions? Well, simple. I use something called an ATR, average true range. So that can be like that. So that's just an average range of the stock for the past 14 days. You can make that whatever you want: 5 days, 10 days, 14 days. But I think a lot of default that people use is 14 days, and you can just see how far it's gone off of its opening price. Percent ATR, like how many ATRs has it done off of its open? How many ATRs has it done from the prior day close? Because if you know how to use, if you know the ATR equation, then you'll know that prior day's close is definitely a part of that calculation as well here. So Nvidia kind of pushing into a little bit of that territory. Big smile saying, Obi, yes, most popular names are overextended to the upside by about 100%. Yeah, exactly.
By
so
100%.
Yeah, I think bigger picture, there are definitely overextensions to the upside. For sure there are. And we're getting that healthy pullback. We're getting that healthy pullback in Nvidia, in Softy, in Amazon. We've like look at this, look at the selling that we've been getting back-to-back days in Zon, right? Right here. So back-to-back days right here. So Thursday, this was just yesterday, aggressive selling, and then a huge reversion that came in with seller dominance on Tuesday, and then even on Monday at the beginning of the week, strong push, but we've been selling off all week, reverting that and then some more here on a few of the Mag 7s here. We'll be right back from Madeira.
Keep an eye here in USAR on a name that Obi just mentioned, MP, as well as other rare earth plays. Commentary coming from Scott Bessent for the second time today on these rare earth minerals plays. He said just now, quote, all hands on deck to end China's grip on rare earths. So once again, Scott Bessent making it very clear that the U.S. is working to end China's control here of rare earths. Keep an eye on USAR, keep an eye on MP as we send you back to Joe and Obi.
Thank you for that, Adara. Okay, so essentially I remember what I was going to bring up here, guys, and we talked about this before. I mean, Robinhood is a prime example. As much as I love the name, as Sharif would like to say, let's cut the crap here and just get realistic with what the market actually does, the ebbs and flows. Again, we talked about it in Microsoft and all of these names. It's fantastic. Yes, we were climbing higher, we're climbing higher, we're climbing higher, but at what point is overextension? And if you ask me, for quite some time we were overextended. We were just slightly too excited and exuberant on the fact that, like, hey, we can only go up at this point. This isn't the reality of the market. Listen, January I'm gonna be year 5. I haven't been doing this the longest out of the individuals here. It's that. But what have I personally observed over my tenure and my duration trading is that what we have experienced over the past couple months is not sustainable. Again, we talked about it in the likes of Microsoft. Let's pull up Microsoft. Like, this is just straight up. This is ridiculous if you ask me, right? I would rather see some cleaner pullbacks and everything along those lines than go on these monster runs, and then essentially you're trapping all these individuals up here, and then look what you've been doing since the middle of the summer. Nothing, right? You get that test, and then boom, you tank aggressively. So unfortunately, it's the reality of trading is that things don't only go up. So when things start to sell off, and you really see that OB brought in a fantastic point. On one Friday, you've seen the volume come in drastically, and you're like, uh-oh, what do I do? There's nothing wrong with taking little profits, in whatever account it may be, and then waiting for prices to come back into your specific levels. Because the chances of that they will is relatively high, because the market will go up. It will price things up. We've been going on an insane run as of late. It's very exciting. Well, guess what? The market will react in the equal and opposite way as well, too. And sometimes it can be significantly more fierce. Why? Because people are trapped at specific levels, and then they start panicking when they need to get out. I've been there. I'm currently in the exact same situation. You have to take a look at names like Bitcoin. I'm heavily weighted in, down 26%. I'm literally losing tens of thousands of dollars in my long-term account watching this thing bleed. Literally, again, I'm not joking. You can see the seriousness on my face. Aside from that, let's get back into this trading. We're in this Robinhood. It's getting smoked. We'll hop out of that momentarily. But what we are currently sitting in right now is some Meta. Meta is doing pretty good for us right now. A little bit of an oversold bounce. We're going to wait for a rejection. Otherwise, I'm going to hop out of Robinhood relatively quick. I mean, I'm holding it $1 against me, so there's no need for me to hold it up any longer. I tried selling the lower end of the range. It didn't work, so we will take a loss on that. Small potatoes, small potatoes. Let's add into this Meta and see if we can get a move back into the volume-weighted average price, Obi.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think something to point out. I don't know if you saw the Microsoft double top, right? This is a 3-hour on Softy, and we talked about this capitulation or this exhaustion that happened, multi-month grind up here, 510s, and then a rip up to 561s on earnings. Nice little pullback here. Yeah, some profit taking that came in. We grind up a little bit all the way back in, and then this earnings as well. A little bit before the earnings, we pop into the 560s. A bit of a double top action on Softy after a grind up. Break of trend as well. So yeah, maybe we are poised for a little bit of a breather, man. I think that's something I do have to be wary of and watch out for. And something else as well. Watching all of the speculative thematics that have been running as well. We talk about I mentioned earlier MP. We know that rare earths have been running, right? Look at the backside on this move. What else has been running? Quantum was running as well, right? IONQ, are we on the backside of this move? Absolutely. We've been on the backside of this move for quite some time, for a couple of months now on IONQ. What else did we have? We also had
some of the precious metals like MP,
precious metals
MP,
as well,
materials and everything.
LAC. I know a lot of people were talking about LAC. Take a look at this backside on LAC as well, man. So I think we are poised for a little bit of a breather. But when you take a look at the spider here and go to a higher time frame, we're going to straight up go to a 3-month chart. I like to look at monthlies when it comes to the SPY and the ES, and you don't have to look any further than a multi-month chart to really kind of hone into what's actually going on. Remember, you want to make sure to look left, make sure you want to zoom out, because at the end of the day, now I know I say this a lot, and I got this phrase from the big boss himself, Michael Noss.
Oh, Noss boss.
That price action, there's a fractal nature to price action, right? There's a fractal nature to price action, and I 100%, the market shows you that. When you look at second charts, when you look at minute charts, when you look at multi-minute charts, when you look at hourlies, when you look at dailies, you look at weeklies, you look at multi-months, throughout all of those frames, price action is relatively fractal in that sense. And the other thing is, if you talk to a trader who normally trades the hourly or the daily, they're gonna be like, oh, day trading, get that out of here, because all of that is just noise to me. Yeah. Right? If you talk to somebody who trades on the hourly, you show them like a minute chart or a 5-minute chart, they're gonna be like, oh, that's just noise to me, right? At the end of the day, you have to remember that we trade intraday. You have to understand relative to the player you are what move is actually happening. So I always like to take a look back, 3-month chart, 6-month chart, even a 12-month chart, just to make sure that we're still very much in line with the bigger picture trend. And I think the answer is we definitely very much are.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. For me, I just think the detail, so like for us intraday trading, I don't think the detail in the price action in which you need is on like obviously a 3-month or a 12-month chart. Yeah,
for sure. But when those levels line up though, for example, if we're coming out into a breakout, it's a daily, it's a weekly, it's a 3-month breakout.
Very well said.
Powerful. The trade becomes so much more powerful.
When all of the stars align, then that's when you have that green light to just go, go, go. And I like that you put that up there, Obi. All right, let's do it, man. Why not? Shout out to Meta. Maybe we can get a little bit of a pop. We're adding into this position. We did get a move up there. My average is 604.40, so slightly out of the money right now. Considering I'm adding aggressively, there's zero chance that I'm going to let this to go against me heavy. Otherwise, if it does come against me, guess what? I think there's going to be another opportunity to get involved for a potential bounce. If we have the ability to break this peak high, then we're rocking and rolling, all right? Let's see. Caleb, 6K in profits this week. I used to pray for this. Bang. So, well, how long have you been trading, my friend? I'm glad that you've had that 6K in profits. It's definitely not easy. Congratulations to you. And the Most High has answered your prayers, it seems like. But keep on wishing, because the universe isn't on a budget. So you can just continuously keep asking for things as long as you put in the work. It's not going to come for free. All right? So this is what I got going on, Obi. I know you're not sitting in anything. If it breaks 604, we might have to just hop out of this trade because Meta, I mean, we'll give it past this entry. I'll take a little bit larger of a loss on it than what I will potentially anticipate, but I like our chances for somewhat of a rebound. I mean, the market doesn't look good whatsoever, but there was some indecision prints, and if I'm wrong, yeah, cool. Okay, so essentially what we got going on here is we're playing off of this bounce. These candle levels need to hold up. Once this pivot level snaps, you can see that we were having some issues running into some prior support levels that are now currently acting as resistance. And then that next level is going to be around 607. All right. So just keep that in mind. We got to keep an eye on what NVDA is up to. Just because it's so heavily weighted, it plays such a massive factor in what the overall market is doing. And we also want to keep an eye on some of the other names. But I do like our chances of a rebound. Bounce off of 601 on META. Let's see if that put wall is still holding up here. We'll pull that up here. Let's get to our options chain and see what we got going on that front. META. If not, I had to get out of that Robinhood trade. It just squeezed higher. It didn't break through the support level, so we just hop out of that trade. No issues whatsoever. Now, let's head over to next week's. I mean, 600 does have a little bit of size. Okay, the volume is there at that 600 level, so just keep that in mind, guys. 31,500 contracts already open and closed with 8,450 still holding. It's still pretty light, but I mean, aside from what we have at 630, it's our second largest size. I like our chances. We're going to hold on to it. We're going to stick to the plan regardless of what happens. Doesn't look too good right now, so it could be an additional fake out. I'm not looking at that right now, to be honest with you. Babin, I may as well. So I'll take a look at it right now. Somebody said BTC moving up. We'll take a look at IBIT to see what's going on over there. Okay, nice. So 57.58. Once again, okay, we'll take that breakout all day. I like that. I mean, the longer that it takes and it holds, the less likely again, I don't see a bounce. I don't see any like immediate bounce happening in Bitcoin anytime soon. Let's pull up the actual Bitcoin chart. We're going to pull up our trading view and just go through the technicals. Again, I could be wrong. And for the sake of many individuals, I hope I am wrong. But again, I've been following this thing for quite some time. Before I even started trading equities, I was trading this thing on Binance, which is no longer legal around here. But here it is, holding up, man. I mean, there is a support level at 99. We're going to stay confident. We're going to stay faithful to the fact that we're holding this level. But as soon as we start opening up below those ranges, as Neil said, you got to look for those next levels. And for me, what we're displaying is 92.90s. So that's going to be pretty ugly for me, especially. Adara, what do you got for us?
It's time to talk about crypto, and I want to talk about weekly charts because it's the end of a week, and it's the end of a week that's been really eventful for the crypto space. Here is Bitcoin set to post its second straight red week, and as you can see, we're continuing to see these lower highs here from that all-time high that we made early October. Crazy, this was like a month ago yesterday, just above 126,000. Now, the other thing that you see when you zoom out and look at the weekly chart on Bitcoin is some clear resistance around 116,000. So maybe a level to keep an eye on should Bitcoin decide to push back higher. Ethereum also ready for its second straight red week, though it's been in its decline for a little bit longer than we've had with Bitcoin. We'll take a look at Solana, let's say at SOL. A lot of these weekly charts looking the same, right, guys? Lower highs, lower lows, and at least 2 straight weeks of declines. Take a look at Cardano, ADA, USD. Cardano actually, again, 2 straight weeks of declines and this push to the downside, though they've been weaker for a little bit longer. So the point I'm trying to make here is a lot of these crypto weekly charts looking pretty similar. Now, again, we're zooming out to kind of see where these levels of support or resistance might be going forward. Again, with BTC, that 116K resistance could be key as we start to potentially push right back higher. For what it is worth, Bitcoin right now back above that $100,000 level as we send you back to Joby.
Ooh, cool, good stuff. Other than that, guys, BTC, Adara was just pulling up that chart. We were talking about it not too long ago, and it's the same thing across the board. We can see things drastically better over here. Let's get the algo out so you guys can't, so we can see a little bit more clear. In the grand scheme of things, you have to take into consideration you're down 4%, a little bit more than that off of those highs. But just, again, guys, it's a complete mental note. It's the same thing. The market just repeats itself over and over and over and over again. When things get too exciting, look what happens. And just be prepared for that. A lot of people are like, hey, Joe, when do you think the market's going to snap back? When do you think the market's going to snap back? I have no idea. And the chances of it taking significantly longer than what we think is there. There's so many different possibilities within those scenarios. We went on these monster runs since April. You're up almost 30, you're up 35%. At the peak, you were 40%. You know what I mean? So it's just like, hey, things are gonna sell off. It sucks. Those times suck. But at some point, we just got to get out of our trades or start piecing some out and sit on a little bit of cash when we see this overextension within the overall market. So Meta not looking too good. And this is what I wanted to talk about earlier before I send it to Obi, is that we've seen this happen before in the likes of Meta, when we know Mark Zuckerberg gets a little bit too enthusiastic with his spending. This selling goes on for how long? A long time, almost a year. I'm not going to say that's going to be the exact same thing that we're going to experience here in Meta, but I think you're going to have to be patient. Things might not turn around until next earnings season. I don't want to be a negative Nancy. I'm just trying to state the facts and what multiple scenarios can happen. And I said it before, I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope that I'm extremely wrong in that case, Obi.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta be okay with being wrong a lot of the time, right? That's our job here as traders. You have to be able to accept sometimes that you're gonna be wrong, especially when you're trying not to get what was it, 25 pennies here. So we made a high at 640s, kind of coming in, breaking a little bit of structure here, but you know, it's still kind of, you know, in that uptrend here, holding structure, holding higher highs and higher lows. I'm sure if you throw on a moving average here as well, you'd probably be able to see that it's coming in and pulling into that, or at least trying to here. Let me just throw that in real quick. All right. So yeah, no, I'm waiting for this to potentially come in. This could very well not come in as well, right? Today's earnings day one. We've reverted a decent chunk of the move. I'd say over 50-60% of that initial down move on the initial earnings reaction. That was retraced as well. But yeah, that's the look here on OpenDoor. Let me know in the chat what you guys are trading as well. Lag. People talking about stream lag. Yeah, sometimes when that happens, you can just restart the stream, and things should be okay. That's usually what I end up doing as well. Wow, 55s actually broke on MP pretty aggressively. Here comes OpenDoor with some more aggressive selling. So let's see if we can break some next structures. That's what I'm looking for here now. So 41 highs right there. Looking at this next structure low, you can see strong sell candle, and then we caught a base around, what are those lows? 605s. So 605s is what I'm looking at. If we can get down to 605s, then maybe we see something interesting here. But already getting in double top at 640s, it would seem. That candle, this candle high is 41. This candle high is also 41. So a little bit of a signal potentially coming in here on OpenDoor. See if it's open for some fresh lows here. I'm looking for a reversion to VWAP, to be honest, guys. And VWAP is sitting all the way at $5.71. So we still got a ways to go here, currently trading at $6.90. But the bid's got to give up, right? It's not in line with the market. It had earnings. It's doing kind of its own thing here on OpenDoor. So we'll wait for the next opportunity. Where's the next trade? That's what I'm asking. So.
All right. I feel you on that. Okay, so you're short open again there, Obi. We're sitting in this meta trade still to see if we can get this bounce. I mean, a strong candle right here. Do we have the volume supporting it? Not overly. The thing is, though, we got to keep an eye on the tape. Where are we going to get those clean flushes? And right now, you can see them constantly hitting the bid, and then the price react to it. And then when we have those green ones, not as aggressive. So focus on this right now in the meantime, and watch how the tape is affecting the price action. I'll stop hitting it. Boom. You see the flush? This is tape reading. You see that flush to the downside, and then you get a rebound, etc. Sometimes it can be pretty noisy, but when you're looking at it at specific times, it can tell you a lot. And if we get more continuous flushes, it might be best for me to just get out of this trade and look for something else, especially if these levels don't hold up. Now, I know there's a lot of options questions in the chat. Put them in there. I'll go over them, etc. But as of right now, Obi and I are precision, right? We're not going to be in overly amount of trades. We're going to wait for those precise times and try to get involved in them. What I'm looking at from a 1 minute standpoint isn't overly, I'm not in love with it. But again, until it tells me I'm completely wrong, otherwise we'll hold off on that. It's gonna cover this engulfing print here. Slightly frustrating, but again, I'm trying to long a really weak stock and hoping like, hey, just living off of hopium, not always the best, but we want to stay positive. We have a little bit of confidence in it, and we're going to stick with that. All right, so what else are we looking at here? PFE looking good too. Says, who said that? Who said that? TP, what's up, target price? I don't know if that's your name, I just decided to say that. RGTI continuing to bleed like the quantum space is one of the hottest spaces in the overall market. It's one of the weakest right now. So, I mean, we have to look at that, but PFE, what are you up to? How are you doing? Not too bad. A nice bounce off of those lows. We'll pull up this chart here momentarily so we can take a gander. So here it is, bang off of those, some nice strong 5 minute candles to the top side. That's what we want to see, strong and active with the volume starting to increase a little bit there, guys. And yeah, and I was talking a little bit about, okay, there we go, Meta. Are you breaking that trend? We like that, but you like that, we like that. Love it. I know, I got to stop doing that though, Smack Nick. Apparently annoys some people, but again, I don't really care. No hockey tonight as well, too, for those who were curious. no, Obi, I didn't know if you were curious if I was playing hockey tonight or not. I bet it,
I mean, I'm always curious because the question is, are we going for towers?
Oh,
is today towers on Friday?
Oh,
that's what I'm asking.
Towers
right? You guys down to go play some pool?
We haven't.
Some towers.
Are the lads here?
I think a couple of lads are here.
Okay, so
Wayne's here. Jose's here.
Jose's here.
I miss the floor, man. Every Friday we would go. We would basically, go out, have some drinks, talk trading sometimes for hours. We still have that every now and then. But the thing is, no one stays late anymore. Was it a couple Fridays ago? It was just me and Jose in the algo room, just talking shop until 8:30 p.m.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, but I definitely miss the floor when we had just everyone, a bunch of people, and we just go out and just have fun and talk stocks, right? What better way to talk stocks than after hours? What's up?
I was going to say, as someone who came in with no market experience, you learn so much from these conversations, and I still learn so much from these conversations. The whole floor vibe is truly invaluable, and I'm very lucky that I got to have that.
Sure. No, that makes a lot of sense. You know what Greg used to say? Greg was Greg was the manager on the floor when I first joined, and he would say there's an indicator. People who don't come out and stay out on Fridays, they do not last very long. And that indicator has proven to be true time and time again. I've seen over 100 traders come and go through this floor. That stat stays true.
That's staying true.
Yeah.
It's staying true, guys. All right, it's boring on my own line. Yeah, I mean, it's honestly a privilege. You got to look at it like that. Just the experience. And I came in the latter half of things, but I still got to experience some of the individuals. And I mean, I met Obi a couple years ago, actually.
At the Money Show.
Yeah, at the Money Show. We had no
idea. He was I watched you on Trader TV.
Well, the guy told me he's on Trader TV. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm like, and then we just started talking shop a little bit there, and then after that,
you were there with the Bulls versus Bears.
Bears
versus Bulls. Bear Bull trading.
Bear Bull. How did I forget that one? I mean, good times, man, over there. And we didn't go to the Money Show this year, which was a little disappointing. Considering Peter Tuchman was there.
Yeah,
I think that would have been a cool one. I
totally missed it, man. But you know what? This year, Traders for a Cause, I will 100% be there.
Where's it? Where's this event? The next event?
That's in Miami this year.
Oh, the Miami one? You went to the other one?
They usually happen in Las Vegas, so I've never been to one. And hopefully this year will be my first. Again, awesome event. And they usually have keynote speakers. Traders come from all around the world.
Yep.
You get to bump heads and just talk trading with a lot of great minds. And I think definitely anticipating that a little bit here. I think that's in March, April maybe. March.
Times. I remember you went last year too, didn't you?
No. So that wasn't the Traders for a Cause. That wasn't the big event, but it was a Traders for a Cause meetup.
Oh, okay.
So they have meetups every now and then. So I like to go to some of those. That's kind of like my break, kind of like a vacation. I don't really take too many days off. But I'll always take a couple of days off for a trader meetup for sure.
Nice, yeah, for sure. It's well worth it, man. And especially you could just what's the term I'm looking for? You could just talk with other individuals. I'm not going to try to figure out. Talk shop, but there's another one that it's not coming to me right now. But that's irrelevant. Let's get right back in, man. This thing has been a choppy mess. Palms sweaty on this one. Again, if we break some levels, I'll have to take the loss on it, and we'll just sit on our hands and wait for some other things. So it's not going to be the most active of sessions, but we can talk a lot about everything, right? Okay. I'm gonna be nice today and just do that. So, all right. So, guys, what are we looking at on the day? Anything specific? Sticking to 420 says. Okay, I mean 420 is a good time, right? But there's always a time and a place for everything. Networking is the word I was looking for. Thank you. Even though that wasn't that much, that wasn't that difficult. It's like, come on.
It's always about who you know.
Exactly. It's always it doesn't matter what you know. It's about who you know.
What you know might matter a little bit too, but at the end of the day, who you know makes the difference.
Big time. Absolutely.
There you go. The more you know.
And the more you know. Guys, this is what I was talking about. The floor is being snapped. Here's RGTI continuing to bleed, right? It's just unfortunate that it didn't happen in the likes of Robinhood.
I was looking for a continuation on some of these quantums, man.
Yeah, I mean, like this is what I'm talking about, Obi. This was the hottest space for quite some time. And then look, it's like, oh, you're feeling FOMO. I personally was. I'm like, man, oh, these quantums, this is the next like 10 bagger or whatever you want to call it. But now you trade up to $60 and you've lost half your value right now to $45. That's not a good time, man. That is definitely, you're having a bad time with that. We're back to the break even, but just continuous selling stepping in to META. We're gonna try to diamond hands this and wait for the volume weighted average price. That'll be absolutely phenomenal considering we've held it for this long. No need to get out just yet, and or kind of just micromanage the situation. If you find yourself doing that, do this. Right? Go to a higher time frame and be a little bit more patient. Sometimes it's like live or die by the 1 minute as well too, right? So a lot of false things, a lot going on. But if you ever find yourself just micromanaging a little bit too much, then sure up, just up your time frame, sit on your hands, reduce that size. There's nothing wrong with doing that, especially in this market sentiment, and see what's going on. As long as these support levels continue to hold up. But again, as a lot of the most veteran traders say, don't fight the tape. And I think that's extremely extreme and a timely skill to learn for sure. It takes a long time to understand what's going on with the tape. That's why Obi and a lot of the boys are consistently recording it to see, hey, and I think that's what really helped me at one point is that, okay, I went through all of my best winning trades, and then I had a system that was fortunate enough to show you the tape and how you can go back and replay those specific days, and then you just watch how it reacts on those best winning trades, and then you know what to look for. Oh, I've seen this before, and then you look to take that specific setup one more time, Obi.
Yeah, man. I think you make a great point there, especially taking a step back. And I think a lot of players in this market have been talking about taking a step back, sizing down a little bit, and just kind of observing more often than not. We're seeing some crazy moves. Have you been trading Blue Ocean as of late? The past couple of days, man.
I was trading earnings last night. TTD.
TTD earnings?
Yeah, I was trading TTD last night.
Both Tesla and Nvidia, man. Tesla and Nvidia, straight bangers in terms of the momentum, the opportunity that we're seeing. Did you see the leaderboard a couple days ago?
Yeah, who was on a BL? Oh, was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't one of our boys.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It just goes to show some of the opportunity.
It was like 15K on BL or something.
It was like that, and it was just like, okay, well, you know, there's over a couple of hours. I saw what trades it could have potentially been. There's only a couple of names that money could have been necessarily made on. And it was between Tesla and Nvidia and a couple other names as well. So I think intraday or intranight news in Blue Ocean absolutely solid. But even intraday news, we've been seeing how crazy that's been. That's some of the catalysts that come in and the price action that's been happening revolving around some of those intraday news catalysts as well. So. I think having the information the fastest in this kind of a market is definitely a little bit, or in any kind of a market, definitely a little bit of an edge there as well. And breaking news trades, if you don't have any sort of like scrapers or anything that's really kind of bringing you that information as fast as possible, or if you don't have Trader TV switched on and you don't have that information as fast as possible, then you're really kind of doing yourself a little bit of a disservice on some of those breaking news trades. Yesterday we saw something happen on MP Materials where we got that nice little spike intraday, and that gave opportunity. I'm just trying to think of other intraday catalysts that we've seen as of recent, which have given us some strong moves and pushed forward or even backwards. We saw Novo and Lilly when President Trump came up and he was talking about some of the healthcare sector stocks as well.
Connected to that, we had GDRX yesterday as well, because there were reports suggesting that GDRX was not going to be at all a part of the Trump RX, right? So that's obviously going to be a bad look too. So like that's another example of a pretty strong intraday move, I guess, on that.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, so GDRX as well. So a lot of these movers, if you're first to the party, you can catch a bit of the move. But you know what I like as well? If I'm first to the party, I'm there, I'm watching. I'm watching and I'm waiting, because I know for a fact that a lot of participants that are getting in on breaking news trades are very likely to be short-term participants. Because if that price action kind of reverts or there's no sort of continuation again on the tape, there's a bit of a stall that happens, the news maybe not digested, or it just, that's all it kind of had.
Were you trading,
I want to take the,
were you trading Blue Ocean last night?
Last night, no, I was watching it, but there was definitely some good opportunity for sure. But yeah, no, a lot of times what I'm noticing in this market, I'm just observing.
Yeah.
I'm just observing.
Yeah, man,
and I'm missing a lot
man.
of good trades as well. I'm like, okay, this one's coming up. Oh, that showed up. Oh, I missed it. So I'm not really participating as much, but the ones I am catching, I'm trying to do as best as possible to get as aggressive as I can on the good ones that I do catch, right? At the end of the day, that's what we have to do, right? Stay light as possible on the ones that we're a little unsure of. The probabilities are stacking, but they're not really increasing. But then there's some trades where you're getting into it and you have that aha moment, or you have that bit of action, or that break of structure on the chart, or whatever have you, that confirmation comes in, and then you're just like, okay, this is growing pains along the way, is that when that happens, I'm getting exponentially bigger, right? Getting 10, 20 times more the size.
The size.
When the move is actually coming in.
Nice.
And sure, you know, like I said, growing pains, I'm getting burnt on it every now and then because I'm still learning how to do it effectively and appropriately. But I'm in that kind of zone where I'm just like, all right, well, you know, it's very obvious when things are not working for me. It's very obvious when I'm holding the bag or trading tilted. And someone told me this early on in my life, and I forget who it was, but it still sticks with me to this day, is that sometimes what happens is that we go on a bit of an emotional tilt, and those dominoes start to fall over, right? One after another, those events can really start stacking up. So what we can do to try to be better is just try to be a little bit earlier at stopping those dominoes from falling. So you start to notice, okay, this started to tilt me, this happened. What usually occurs after those sequence of events? Are those an unfortunate sequence of events? You don't know. So if you can kind of be self-aware, which I'm trying to be, is just like, okay, how do I stop myself earlier and earlier from that? So it's just like, okay, getting aggressive with the stuff that's working, staying light on the stuff that doesn't. It's basically what I'm trying to say. But yeah.
I wrote high on your desk. You didn't see it? I wrote high in the pens that you left there.
What happened?
I thought you would like it. There you go. I made Ramin again. Well, anyways, leaves a stack of pens on the desk. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave Ramin a nice note. So I wrote high in the pens.
Nice.
But I mean, it's lunchtime, Ramin.
Lunchtime.
Crazy. It's crazy.
What was for lunch? I don't know.
I didn't.
Missed that section.
Some chicken, some Filipino chicken.
Adobo. Oh,
yeah,
right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We got Hercules Jack. What's going on? Super chat. Keep up with the great work, Joe and Obi. Which ones would you look at to long when the market rebound intraday, super short swing wise? I mean, if I'm looking long, it's the strong names, right? These guys, the hyperscalers, the individuals that have insane amounts of free cash flow. There goes Meta, break through this resistance, finally. So I'm looking at an oversold bounce on Meta potentially, but I was talking about this earlier in the day, is that we've seen what happened with the likes of Meta before. When he was spending all this cash on the metaverse, the street did not like that whatsoever. I'm not saying this is the exact same scenario, but it's giving me those types of feels because we're on consecutive selling sessions, 2 in a row, but before that, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. You get a little bit of a breath, and then you continue that selling all the way down to $600. I love this as a potential buy. Let's get back into these lower time frames to see what's going on. Nice little pop up there. We're going to take that all day. We're not going to get out just yet. Wait for that 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. We're almost there, not quite. 606.50 is where I'm going to be looking to take my first profit target. Let's see if we can get a bounce in this overall market. I think if the Nasdaq looks like it wants to start to climb higher, we got a good chance of getting this name to bounce along with it. Now, it's chicken adobo. Yes. Thanks, Lemon Family. I'm glad that you know the lunch better than the individuals who are here, and that's going to be Obi and I. Thank you. So what else are you guys looking at? Put it in the chat. Don't feel shy if you have any specific questions regarding whatever it is. It doesn't matter. just ask us and we'll do our best to answer them with a little bit of experience and knowledge that Obi and I both have. So I'm going to say a little bit. I'm not going to dumb it down, but I mean on the grand scheme of things.
I definitely have a limited experience.
I mean, you've been doing this 6 years now almost, Obi, no?
Yeah, man. But at the same time, dude, a lot of that 6 years was not directly. It wasn't channeled in the right way. Channeled in the right direction. Okay. So that's also something that you realize after coming to a floor. Yeah. Coming to a trading floor and then talking to more advanced traders and then getting actual mentors as well. Yeah. Right. It has to be directed learning. Right. It has to be meaningful and directed learning. A lot of the time, I sat at home. I told Greg this as well. I was like, I had no mentors when I sat at home and traded for a couple of years. I did have a couple of mentors, but they were mainly in SPY options and futures trading. In terms of stocks and intraday trading, I didn't have too many strong mentors. I had a few that were really, really good. Shout out to Sniper. He was one of my first real mentors there as well. Sniper. And I just learned from a lot of material from the internet, from YouTube videos, from courses, from books. Like it was a lot of jumble, right? I had so much, I knew a lot of things, but I also knew that I didn't know a lot as well.
The more you know,
it was just like I just know a lot of jumble, and a lot of that stuff doesn't really count. It doesn't really, I don't really use it. The more you know, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's like what I kind of say. I've said this to people that have came through the floor as well. It's like over time, you don't know what you necessarily should be doing. For the bigger part, what you discover over time is what you shouldn't do. And over time, when you have that stack of, okay, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do this, then over time, that compass starts to align in relatively the right direction. And that's all you can really bet on, right? That, okay, if I don't know where I'm going, by process of elimination, what am I good at? What should I be doing? What should I not be doing? Learning from others' mistakes, that's huge, right? And it's kind of like that. So yeah, of course, it takes a lot of time. And I go back and say this: when someone goes to school for something, they go to school for about 4 years. Yeah. They get that degree. Now tell me, after they get that degree, they have all the knowledge. They have all that practice. They've taken the labs. They've done whatever. When they get into their field, are they the best at what they do?
Absolutely not. You're starting all over.
Are they going to just straight up kill it as soon as they come in?
No, not the majority of people don't.
How much longer does it take for them to achieve any sort of mastery? Right? So you're going to sit there and tell me it's going to take, I don't have 3 or 4 years. Well, you got to get. Some people do it in less. Kudos to you. You know. If you're at the right firm, if you have the right mentors, you can definitely do it much faster. For sure you can. But the question becomes, how much are you actually willing to put in? How much runway have you given yourself? Do you really understand this game with the perspective of how long and hard does it really take?
Man,
how long and hard is the journey, right?
It's significantly longer than what you could ever potentially imagine. So, that's why like Neil and Sean talk about it all the time, man. It's good to always have that consistent income while you're just in the earlier stages of this stuff. And until you really start to grasp it and prove that you've been consistently profitable for probably a couple of years, it's just best to always have that alternative income because it's not easy. It's not easy. And the more pressure you put on yourself makes it significantly more difficult as well, too.
You should try to have at least a couple streams.
At least. Well, I mean, like one stream at least where you can cover your bills and you don't change your the way your current lifestyle is too much, right? Yeah. But aside from that, Adara, what do you got for us?
Yeah, take a look here at PTON, guys. Street Pro calling this one a long idea. This is also an earnings day one play, but I guess this publication here called Street Pro saying that they're impressed with Peloton's execution and the methodological improvements they're seeing. So again, PTON, a long idea here from Street Pro. Back to you.
Tesla breaking down HOOD right back towards that support level. We'll take one more stab on this trade here, guys, just because of that curl over. Hopefully that was a liquidity grab, boom, and then you get that dump to the downside immediately in the money on that Robinhood trade. Let's see if we can get a breach of this level here on Meta. I mean, it's kind of going off of what the overall market is doing right now, right? So if it wants to play catch up and head to the downside, we'll just have to hop out of this. We're going with the flow on attempt number number 2 with Robinhood now. That's starting to work as you're right back to those key support levels. But let's go. Hopefully we can breach this. That's going to be cash money. 607, excuse me, is the dream for me. And I'm going to try to hold on. I've been in it this long. I'll take the same loss. I haven't taken any profit. If I would have locked some in, then I would have been out break even. But right now, nothing's really telling me to say, hey, get out of that trade before things get even worse. Bitcoin's starting to come back in, but this is the additional leg that's heading lower. And a lot of people in the chat are like, hey, Joe, why is the market selling? There's so many factors that can come into play on why the market is specifically selling. Once again, we're over on the TQ, so it's going to be double the amount of what the actual market is there, but you're starting to head to the downside. And I mean, the volume and the volatility is most definitely picking up as well, too, guys. That always has to be taken into consideration. So there it goes right back to that resistance zone in META. We can head back into the lower time frames and see what we got going on. Is this going to be the move where we push? Let's go, Obi. This is what I'm talking about. We'll take a little bit off right here, guys. Have to be exact just because we're up there. Bang. Patient. Good things come to those who wait. We take half of that position off. We're not going to make any mistakes on that front. We like that trade 110%. We've been looking for it for the past couple of days. Oversold bounce, market rebounds. We're still with 50% of the position. We're going to leave it for a runner into the volume weighted average price. Our primary target was 68.50, but I'm like, you know what? We got that pop through. We have the volume supporting it. It would be ignorant of me not to take that off. And there it goes. Another pop in META. Let's go, guys. SQQ calls are printing, says Big 40 nephew. I'm glad that you're cleaning up over there. Robinhood putting in another indecision. It's like, Joe, what are you doing shorting me? Come on. Get your act together. This is our favorite holding in our account. I've been doing the best for you. I've given you a 2-bagger and a half, and you're thinking of shorting me? God, that's what Vlad Tenev is doing to me. He's like, ha ha, Joe, what do you think this is? But we're long, Vlad, just to let you know, in the long term. I'm sad that I did sell half of that position, but regardless, we accept all of our fate, and regardless of what we do. But let's go meta. We're rocking and rolling. We're going to send it off to Adara with happening now, and then Neil with his lesson of the day.
What's happening now is a drop here on the Nasdaq, and a pretty sharp one, to put it mildly. Last I was seeing down 2% on the NQ. I was also seeing some research here on X from Bespoke. Apparently the last 9 Mondays have been positive, so potentially if you look at those statistics, there's some probability that we get a bounce on Monday, but again, that's just looking at the past. Forward looking, and what we have right now is a Nasdaq that is back below 600 and down 2%. As we have a lot of tech weakness, we know TSLA has really led that downside push as sellers try to adjust the overwhelming shareholder approval for Elon Musk's $1 trillion pay package. Now, looks like a bit of a sell the news event, but let's talk here about a University of Michigan consumer sentiment. So I got this infographic here. I did not make this one. This is from X. It was shared by the Kobasi letter. What's interesting here, apparently this is like one of the lowest preliminary Michigan consumer sentiment prints on record. Preliminary print here, 50.3. Now, apparently we are near like 2008 levels here with regards to consumer sentiment. So interesting look here. Sentiment appears to be quite dicey as of right now. We've talked as well about OpenDoor OPEN. I know a name that I think has been traded on both shows, or I know Obi was trading in the morning. Neil traded this one as well. Let's talk here about OPEN. Here were their earnings estimates. They did post a slight EPS miss here, but a revenue beat and better than expected revenue guidance for next quarter. Other earnings names on watch include Affirm, XYZ, MP, USAR, Airbnb. The list goes on and on. So lots of day one earning plays, that is to be sure, and lots of excitement in this market. We'll send you right over to Neil and his lesson after we thank our friends at Origenics, OGEN, because each year 3.8 million concussions are reported in the US, but there's still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE-listed Origenics, or OGEN, is changing that with its first in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Origenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more. Schedule a meeting today. We're going to send you over to Neil and his lesson of the day. So without further ado, give the people that lesson, Neil.
All right, everybody, lesson of the day. I'm willing to bet that if you were going long today, you probably felt a little bit like Geno Smith in the pocket, relentless pass rush from the Broncos, And there's just nothing you can do on some plays. He's just taking that sack. But you know what you could do, Gino? If you know they're going to be in your face and they're overwhelmed, 1, 2, 3 steps, and then get the ball out of your hands. It's that simple. You know you can't sit up in the pocket. You've got to have that awareness. If you are trying to go long in a market like this or fade something that's strong, one of the best things you can do for yourself is take the style of trades that very quickly, it's like, look, if it's not working fast, then I got to be able to get out of it. And then at the same time, be willing to switch it up, be willing to adjust to whatever might occur, slip out of it maybe a little bit quicker than normal, because it's okay to miss when you're going against the grain. And you know, the other thing that you should be able to do, and I'll show you in a quick second, is when you do have time, let it work if you're with the trend. But the example I want to use is, I wanted to go against the grain. I'm not talking about buying the long, so I was actually trying to short open today. But the way in which you lose matters as a trader, right? There's a big, and the same thing with the football analogy. If you take a quick drop and throw an incompletion or throw it in the dirt, it's better than taking a 10, 15 yard hit in the sack. And it's the same thing with trading. You take a shot against the grain, you take a small hit. If the risk reward is good, it's not the end of the world. On OpenDoor, that was absolutely the case. Each time I had it short, if we come to the chart for a second, if we can, thank you. Each time I had the short, it's tight stop, and ultimately, I kind of had this one at the right price and couldn't get back in the first time, but it doesn't matter. The second time through, really tight stop, risking 10 cents, 15 cents. VWAP is 2 to 3 to 1 away from that. But I'm not letting it go past and take that wider and bigger hit against the grain. It's a relatively tight stop. And I'm deciding the area I'm trading at, and I'm just taking the one shot at it in that price range. Took the shot on the early pop at 9:30. That was it. Worked or it didn't. Binary. Trend break. Worked or it doesn't. Binary. Not trying to fight the stock whatsoever. And it was similar with Tesla. Like, Tesla was trending down. I took the one shot when it set up on the 15. This was on a 15-minute chart, by the way. This was the candle on the 15. It was a sniper in, maybe a little bit. I think I got a bad exit on the way to the way out. Probably should have been a little tighter to that high. But that was a sniper shot in the downward trend, because you got to get the ball out quick. You just have to do it. Now, when you have time in the pocket and you can survey all day long, well, you don't have to be that good of a quarterback, Jared Goff, and you can do anything you want up in there sometime. You can get, like with SMCI, I can reload at weird prices and kind of like take a really bad out there and then chase the move all the way to the downside and then literally just short whatever the heck pop is going to be. Like, indiscriminately taking any pop short because it's trending in your way. So you can get frisky when you're going with the trend and just sort of not freewheel it, but be a little bit more aggressive. Take things that might look like C plus or B setups because you're going with the trend. But when you are under pressure and trying to fight it, you have got to be able to get out quick, be willing to sometimes tighten up a stop loss if you have to, because I'd rather miss a mean reversion trade than just get completely run over and blow out your day. There is always something, there's always a trend you can join. Generally speaking, most days there's a trend you can join. Sometimes the market is a complete chop fest and maybe you can completely sit it out. And I have nothing against mean reversions, buying off support, shorting resistance. Just know that when the market is doing this is a Nasdaq down over 2%. It's a different environment when you're trying to catch a bid. Now, if the market's down 0.5% and you want to mean revert something off the low, it's very different. You've got some protection of stability in the market that you can be a bit more frisky with it. But when we're cratering to the downside, like I said, you got to get the ball out quick. You can be aggressive with your shorts, but you have got to have a different approach to the longs. You're not going to see me in like multiple times long. It's like, try it at an area. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Get the heck out of the way. Try to be nimble enough that you can adjust to the environment. Because these types of days, talking your NASDAQ up or down 2%ers, they're just built a little bit differently, especially on a Friday. And those are the times that you can find yourself just getting bled and losing twice as much as normal. So have the ability for that quick trigger. If you're going, and before you go in and against the grain trade on a day where it's this volatile, Like you think the Raiders didn't know that they would be under pressure all night from the team with the most sacks? Of course they did. So run some plays where the ball gets out quick or some extra protection. You understand that. Have a different type of setup that you use to go against the grain, or adjust by having tighter stops. Whatever it is, you've got to adjust to the market if you want to do those types of trades when we are not cratering but heading down the way that we are. It's all well and good, some strategies on quieter days where the market's less than 1% in either direction. You've got to make the adjustments when we have days like today so that even if you lose, it's a small loss. Or if you had a bad day, it's a flat day. A lot of the best traders in terms of consistency over time, what you'd look at, and I used to do settlements all the time. This is now, I've done the lesson. This is just some knowledge for you guys. I would always I did settlements for when Sean and I owned our floor. And then I did settlements here, so I'm the one looking at the accounts. And so I would spend a lot of time actually seeing monthly P&L for traders on a daily individual basis. And the thing that stood out, and I've said this a lot, for traders that lose, would be I could just glance at it, and like their 1 or 2 biggest losing days would be bigger than any winning day they had, right? So if their best winning day was like $500, they'd have losing days of like 1,000 or 1,200. That's an easy one. But the interesting thing that you would find about day traders who were consistently profitable was the number of days where you would count it as flat. So I'm talking about a trader that might make $500 to $1,000 a day. And then when I look at their month of like 20 days or so, they'd have like a quarter of their days would be like up or down $100. And I'm talking about a trader that was making money. And what that told me was those types of the traders that could have bad days where like a bad day just meant they were like slightly up or down to the point where they would just consider it a flat day. But if that's your bad day and you can limit it, where I'm the wrong direction today. I'm thinking long when it's short, but I'm limiting the losses. I was able to catch maybe one long that worked, and so I'm slightly down. I'm like, I'm 2 for 5, but the win was good and I held my losses, so really it's kind of a nothing day. Those are the traders that have success. The ones that when they're wrong for 2x anytime they make or 3x what they make, those are the traders that are not going to last. And it's not an easy thing to do. And sometimes what it's going to mean is you will miss out on trades. Sometimes you'll be a little bit too, okay, well, this is a good mean reverse, but I got to take less on it or tighter stop because I'm going against the grain, and you're just avoiding the blowout. But whatever it is, you have to make the adjustments when the market is going from one style of trade to another. And right now we're in a big time trending market. A lot of weakness in it, relatively speaking, and you always have to make the adjustment to not get blown up when you're trying to catch the bid. Because we're so accustomed to this buy the dip market where if you find a bid in the morning, you just ride it the rest of the day and you have a great day. That's worked for a while. But when we're not in that environment, you can't get blown out and lose twice as much as you were making when it was working. So good luck, everybody. I hope for everyone's sake that the market catches a bit of a bid, but we're at 2%. Hasn't shown any signs yet. Good luck.
I have to talk about Meta here. META, you might have noticed Meta got a little bit of a pop. META announcing a whopping $600 billion worth of U.S. AI investment through 2028. So again, over the next 4 years, META, Meta here, led by Mark Zuckerberg, planning on investing $600 billion in the U.S. for AI. META, so we send you back to someone who was trading this name earlier.
It'd be nice. Imagine you just got to throw around 600 billion anywhere. That'd be great. But no, in all seriousness, guys, there it is, bang. We're all out of, we held it past target, a couple points over. Our average was 604. We take it all the way up to 607. Not too bad of a look. If it continues to climb, just ran out and I hit my target. And I said, you know what? I would rather not be frustrated with myself and not take it out. If it climbs higher, then so be it. But a nice little trade there. We got the bounce that we were looking for in META. Oh my days, I feel some for some of the quantum folks here. Yeah, Meta's gonna rock it today. I think it's gonna continue to climb higher. It might have enough juice in it to kind of start dragging the overall market up with it, guys. So I'm looking at potential bottom here in the Nasdaq and the TQs, considering how aggressive this selling has been throughout the session. But look at this. This is waterfall type price action in RGTI, Obi. So yeah, whew. Man, if you go over to the daily, it's just continuing to bleed, heading towards some key support levels. I think that 28 3/4 is most definitely going to be a target to keep an eye out for. You're down half of the value in which it was essentially at the peak here. Damn. Let's take a look at some of the other quantum names as well. We got IONQ, one of the more popular ones, down 40%, a 40 slapper right there. QBTS, what's going on with that one? 46 all the way to 26, another 40 slap right there. QUBT, man, oh my days. Again, this one's taking it even worse. 55% Assassino, man, oh man, that is not a good time. You're not having a good time for sure if you're buying anywhere up in and around the highs. But again, I'm sure it'll rebound. It may take a little bit more time. Hopefully you guys aren't in full size. I got to get out of this Robinhood trade one more time as it is starting to break downtrend. So we go over to on the Robinhood. I mean, that meta trade put me slightly green, but now I'm red again on this hood. But again, small potatoes. You have to take those opportunities and those chances. That was the bounce in meta. I mean, in the overall market, I think now we're going to have to wait for this pullback, considering, look how extended we are from the volume-weighted average price. An indecision print, not the cleanest off of those lows, but let's see if this move can be sustained. Ooh, QUBT does have an interesting print on the 5-minute candle as well, too. So let's keep an eye out on that. You might get somewhat of a bounce there in QUBT. Other than that, Obi, what do you got going on? You're long Google now? All right.
So I saw a little bit of, I saw that, I don't know if I really did see that bounce coming, but I saw some bidding coming in, not really across the board. I was watching this Google coming into its day low, and I really liked that continuation through that 275 for a potential short. But that didn't really come in, and the market started to bounce off of 24/7s here as well, and then a little bit of a volume signature happening on TQs as well. So I was like, okay, I'm down to try a quick little scalp here on Google if it's going to false break through its day low like that. Not only is that its day low, that's its I guess that's its hourly opening range low as well. It was a second. It was a third 15-minute candle, sorry. It was a third 15-minute candle on the day that printed that low. And we bid up pretty aggressively off of here as well. This is the low that I'm talking about right here. And we bid up all the way to 279s from there. Let me put up the Google book here so we can follow along alongside while this is happening. And then OpenDoor as well. I'll put that book up. So that's at 276.40s right now on Google. As that potentially comes in, market bid, let's see if that can take us to the promised land. I'm just looking for 277s. Don't know if that'll have me there, but I don't know. I want to be a little bit nimble here. It was just a tape scalp, if anything, just trying to get with a bit of a market bounce here as it potentially comes in. Wow, okay, okay, you know what? Wow. I did not mean to post for all of my size. I thought I posted for half of it, and it just posted everything there into 27650s. Okay, well.
Bruh. What do we got?
Where's the next trade? That's what I'm asking. There's that 277s coming in, dude.
A little fat
like
finger on
it's
that
coming
one,
in. 277s are coming in on Google.
We'll hit this one for you as well, too, there, Obi.
See, I wanted to take some off at the halves there, because you know how I like to play. I like to play with the quarters and the halves, the 75s and the wholes.
Yep.
You guys hear me say this all the time. Can you hold the quarter, print the half, right? And it definitely held 25 pennies and printed the half right away. I wanted to post some out on the half, and here's the whole that's coming in, 277. So a quick dollar there. Just a quick tape scalp, right? Nothing too crazy. I'm not saying that this is going to go all the way back to VWAP. For that, you might need to wait for confirmation on a prior bar break, but I'm taking tape scalps that come in with strong confluence alongside the market as well here. But sometimes that can be the initiation of the reversion, right? The market has been selling off pretty aggressively since the open. These are 15-minute charts here on the ES and the Nasdaq, and you can see not even off of the open, coming into the open well before at like 3 a.m. This is 3 a.m. at nighttime. That thing, both the ES and the Nasdaq coming in pretty aggressive to the sell side here. Wow, 277s on Google. So definitely left like 60 pennies on that one. It is what it is. Where's the next trade? That's what I'm looking for. Maybe it is Google. Maybe if we can kind of break structure, hold 77, maybe we do get to VWAP, which is at 278.30s. OpenDoor printing some fresh highs there. So the short is definitely not in, even as of yet, on OpenDoor as it continues to chop up and squeeze, consolidating near the highs here as of right now on OpenDoor.
All right, guys. And now for some exciting news out of Canada for the sophisticated traders on the stream. BetaPro by Global X Canada, Canada's largest provider of inverse and inverse leverage ETFs, has just launched 6 new triple leverage ETFs offering 3x bull and 3x bear exposure to the SPY and TSX 60, semiconductors, and on U.S. Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st, 2025. Plus, the U.S.-focused strategies use currency hedging, offering the potential for pure performance and exposure. If you're a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca 3x daily to learn some more. And yeah, and there goes Robinhood breaking that trend in a beautiful rebound. And if any of these names are going to do it, I mean, you can't count Robinhood out. Glad that we hopped out of there. I thought that the floor was going to snap, but it wasn't participating to the downside with the overall market going oppo there. I'm posted up on QUBT off of this hammer candle on the lows. But again, as it's starting to climb, it's already hit some of my targets, so we might just eliminate that. I'll take that off right now. I was ready to go full size on that, but we're going to take it off as some of these names are starting to rebound and half decently. Consolidation going on META right at the volume weighted average price. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if we did get that bounce. But this has been the best trade of the day. We can do a review. I've traded Affirm, Robinhood, Meta, NVDA, and TQs. Green on 2 of them, red on 3, and just 1 trade away from being positive. But again, have to wait for those patient setups. This is what I was looking at QUBT to see if we could catch an additional long. Let's pull up the algo to see if that picked up on QUBT, because we haven't. Okay, we're gonna go to Adara and then we'll get back here momentarily.
Keep an eye on Boeing. I'm seeing headlines here. Apparently, the company has broken ground on their South Carolina 787 site expansion. Apparently, this project will be supporting 1,000 new jobs and also involve a $1 billion investment. So stock here is still near low of day, but keep an eye here on BA. More good news for CEO Kelly Wartburg. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Darren. Yeah, it did. So again, we just pull this up and we take a look at it to see if things.
This is the hammer candle one?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm obviously joking.
I thought, no, you literally have it named that.
Yeah, it's literally on. It's literally on there. It's literally on there. Yeah.
That's fine.
We can't give away too much information. You know what I mean, Obi? Just in case. No, I'm
even if you told them what, like the candle, it doesn't give anything.
No, it doesn't. No, but essentially,
there's a lot more secret sauce.
There is a lot more sauce with it for sure. There's a lot more secret sauce with it for this one. But no, I did pick it up. This was a previous print that it went off earlier, and then that one got stopped out. But currently, not doing too bad. Let's take a look at the overall performance right now. Not too good on this specific name considering as of late. So you're going to have a pretty bad profit factor, but we won't complain whatsoever. Did it pick up anything on Robinhood? Let's see. Did I tell you I made another one yesterday as well too, OB, that I'm looking forward to for earnings? Okay. Yeah. And see if we can get that one rocking and rolling, man.
So like earnings, it takes trades in the after hours?
Yeah. So that would be for moi. Yeah. For me, myself, and I. But yeah, nice rebound, guys. There goes QUBT. Meta starting to skyrocket. I told you I'm not going to get frustrated whatsoever. We took it all out at the volume weighted average price. And then you get a little bit more. Just didn't have enough size. Obviously, a little bit more of an expensive name for it to leave as a runner. But it would have been ideal. We can definitely note that and then just try to get a little bit better for next time. But other than that, let's find something else, right? As Obi likes to say, where's that next trade? A nice rebound that we're experiencing across the board. Big IBIT back up to 57 3/4. That's not too bad of a look whatsoever. And a nice little rebound in NVDA as well. Too, guys, we can run through the top performing sectors of the session. Let's do that right now, actually, because we have not done that today and seen who is leading the way. And if there is a lot of red or green, okay, consumer staples getting a little defensive. They're up 1 4/10 there. Energy sector up approximately 8/10 with the materials, up 6/10. We got the real estate sector sitting in that 4th place, guys, up about 4/10 as well, closer to 0.5%. As for the bottom 3, the consumer discretionary down 3/4. We got comm service down 1 1/5 approximately, and then the tech sector, Technologia, down 2%. I mean, that's what happens, guys. When you're the best, the chances are you're going to get hit the hardest as well too. So there's always 2 sides to a coin. Let's see how it's been performing on the week. The Nasdaq down 5 1/5. while the Dow is holding on to -2%, IWM down 3%, and then we have SPY down 3 1/5 as well too, Obi.
Yeah, man. I'm I'm watching this Google, and I was like, yeah, that 277 is on its way. We did pull back a little bit into 27730s, and then rips, 27630s, and then rips right back up. So this consolidation is what I'm watching here right now, 7/7 That's coming in. The market's catching a bit of a bounce, right? So there's a bit of a confluence there, and I definitely fumbled it pretty bad, not staying in the stock and cutting off most of it when I only meant to cut off half of it right there. But you can see the conviction that I had, right? Getting in initially in the 80s, taking more as the 76 breaks, taking even more as the quarters hold, and then now we're getting that push through the next dollar and the next quarter and the next half. Now 277.50s on Google coming in with a bit of a market bounce here as the market pushes back to the upside, guys.
Yep.
But guess what?
What?
For too long, trading meant risking your own money or never having enough to start. The fear of losing. That's what kept so many traders on the sidelines. But that's changing. Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets. With its limited risk trading model, traders use funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading, powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation. OpenDoor is trying to evaluate $6.50 now as it continues to push even higher. So yeah, bit of a squeeze, bit of a churn, bit of a chop to the upside, yeah, I took way too many tries trying to get short this name today. It's okay. Where's the next trade?
On OpenDoor?
On OpenDoor. I'm just like, today's not the day to do this. Very clearly, as of right now is not the time to do this because of how aggressively it's holding up. It's just trading within the upper quartile of today's price action. You can see how strong this is. You just go to a 3-minute chart to kind of clear up that 1-minute mess. You can see here, boom, 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 stair step up, higher highs and higher lows, kind of giving us that sentiment of, yeah, okay, this is being stepped up. Buyers are willing to step up higher and higher, and sellers are not as dominant or in charge as one might think, or is on the day today as they have been over the past couple of weeks on OpenDoor. There is the bounce on Nvidia. I was looking at Nvidia as well a little earlier, if that can potentially come in here. Okay, we'll just refresh the page. Nvidia right here. So reversion to VWAP, that came in really nicely. Nice little consolidation breakout. So you guys were wondering what were the other factors of confluence you were watching for that Google long. Well, Nvidia was one of them, right? Nvidia was consolidating 180, chop, 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 and I saw that the market was catching a little bit of a bounce, and I saw that Nvidia was attempting to push this 180 a little bit, or attempting to push and get past this 180 a little bit after a strong day of selling. So that came in as well, and then that added some strong confluence for the Google trade as well. Not only that, the failure to follow through the day low also adds a strong factor of confluence for me as well. So if the market looks like it's turning, if Nvidia is breaking out of its consolidation highs, and the 15-minute prior bars on both the ES and the Nasdaq start to get broken, and then the tape starts to change a little bit after a false break of the low on Google, how much more confluence do I need? I don't know. But yeah, just price action scalps is what I have on the docket today, and that's kind of how I've been taking it. Like I said before, kind of taking a little bit of a step back. Not really. Some days I'm coming in with a very solid plan, but most days I'm just like, I know this is in play, so I want to be playing this. I might have a little bit of an inkling of a directional bias, but other than that, I'm just like, I just want to play price action. I want to see what participants are actually doing on the day, and I want to participate when those participants are kind of, feeling the pain a little bit. So
for sure, for sure, I agree with you.
But got to stay on the right side of that. Today, I'm feeling the pain on open because I was the participant getting short, right? Sometimes you're on the right side, sometimes you're on the wrong side, and it is what it is. You got to manage the risk effectively over time, and survive is the name of the game. I think that's what I'm looking at as of right now. And MP Materials, man, this was another one that I had on watch this morning. Continues to push even higher here. So MP Materials, fresh highs, 56.80s on the day right now. This pullback into VWAP, I guess that's all she wrote for a little bit of selling that we got. 55, I thought was failing to follow through. It did fail to follow through. We did get a bit of a pullback down towards VWAP in that area, but buyers step right back in, showing us that strength. I was looking at this pivot from yesterday as well. I got a little aggressive with MP Materials yesterday here as well through this 55.20s. A bit of a shake and bake on some intraday catalysts, and we couldn't really quite get past this on the 55 push. And that's what I was looking at. I was looking to risk against that, but guess what? We have reverted. We've gone past that reference high, and now we're grinding up even higher here on MP Materials. Is this the reversion of the reversion is what I'm asking, because bigger picture, we were already on the backside on MP Materials, right? Some strong selling since the beginning of October, since this strong volume spike up into 105. We didn't quite make it to 105. 104.89s was the high, but we've just been getting back-to-back sell days since then. The more you know. This is the backside. But yeah, is this the pivot? Is this the chance that through earnings, through a nice grinding aggressive bid, we finally turn the table on this one and come a little bit back to the upside here? Maybe enter this prior range here that we had from 80s to 60s on MP Materials. I know a lot of people have been swinging this name for quite a while, and we did get a very strong push. Some would say maybe even a little bit of exhaustion on that push up into 105s there. So that's what I have on watch right now. OpenDoor highs, MP highs. Rigetti, I think you covered Rigetti a little bit earlier. I had that on watch as well. Beautiful backside coming in on quantum across the board. IONQ, Rigetti, and a lot of other quantum names as well with a nice sell-off happening.
I was
what's going on?
Yo, so for earnings, it was what we were talking about earlier, OB. I forgot to, this is what, so I'm like, okay, I'm getting prepared. I'm like, all right, I'm just in the state, I'm ready to just go home on DoorDash earnings the other night. I'm ready to go home and just absolutely destroy this ticker if it sets up. I'm trying to take it short, doesn't fail me. I forget to cancel one of my orders. So then on Thursday morning, I come in and then I'm just like sitting there and then my phone goes off and I look at it and I'm like, yo, what the heck? Why am I getting a notification from my broker? And I look, it's like, oh, short X amount on Dash on yesterday from 210. Boom, take the flush all the way. And I didn't even know. I'm like, oh man, I was so fortunate to take that in, or I mean to have got that trade when I was looking to trade it yesterday or on the earnings report day to the downside. Didn't get it, and I ended up taking the long, but then the next day I got the short on DoorDash, which was pretty fun. Even though I didn't even mean to do it, I'm like, hey man, sometimes things flow. Other than that, are you in Google short right now?
I'm trying a little stab at it. Okay. Part of it probably because I miss the long. I'm being honest with myself. I'm just like, all right, I'm going to take a stab at this as it kind of starts to slow down a little bit here in an area where we've already seen a little bit of supply. So we did get a push towards VWAP. This could very well not be done, right? But we're starting to chop and slow down here at a prior area of supply where we did kind of chop. So I'm curious to know if we do pull back, how much of this range will we retrace if the bid is actually still on and we're still going to bid up, or are sellers kind of going to step right back in, right? So watching the Nasdaq and the ES as well at the same time as alongside with some of these Mag 7s. But yeah, no, the TQs, the turn on the TQs or the Qs does look a little bit strong, a little distinct, but sellers could very well step right back in. We've seen the dominance that they've had over the past few days, back-to-back jacks. A little bit more of the same coming into the end of the week. The question becomes, though, do we print a flat bottom on the weekly candle? Because a few stocks
in the overall market?
In the overall market, or because a few stocks have been selling off pretty aggressively. I think what was the one I was looking at? It was Nvidia. Nvidia at the beginning of the week. Yeah, man. Nice pop, selling off all week. Pretty much at its we made a low at 178.91, right? So this has already kind of created that. If we close right here, if we were to close right now, right, we would have created that bottom wick on the weekly from 178s to 182s, right? So the question becomes, do we just trade sideways on a day like today, or do we go all the way back 186, 185.90, actually 185.69s nice, is the day high right now on Nvidia. So we may or may not be able to get back all the way. We've already reverted about 50% and reclaimed VWAP as of right now. If the Nasdaq can even kind of revert a little bit back to this 25,000, we've seen how it's been interacting and reacting to that 25K over the past few weeks or the past couple of months. If it can just take a little bit of a reversion back up into that area, the question becomes, Nvidia's reclaimed and held VWAP. Do we get that scalp where it's reclaimed VWAP and we get that continuation back through day open? Mm-hmm. I don't know, but that's a question that I'm asking. And if the market's able to revert back to its VWAP and back towards some sort of a reasonable mean relative to the action that we've had today, then maybe, yeah, Nvidia is within range to do that as well.
I was thinking about taking a potential short on NVDA. Again, like I have no.
Yeah, if it slows down.
Well, I was going off of, yeah, that's the thing. I was going off of this. If this held up, we started to consolidate and slowly start to curl over, so that inverted hammer print right at the volume weighted average price, then I would have looked to take the short. But now we're starting to squeeze to the top side. Robinhood's going nuts. Bitcoin up to 58.18. Bang, we like that one 110%. So let's see what we got going on from a daily. Let's send it off to Adair and then we'll get back to this.
Keep an eye on airlines. We are once again hearing about these reductions here, again, related to the fact that we were having some issues with air traffic controllers because of the government shutdown. So less people working. Long story short, FAA here, the Federal Aviation Authority, announcing that carriers must reduce their flights by 10% by 6 a.m. on Friday, November 14th. So in about a week from today, flights have to be reduced here by 10% by these carriers. Keep an eye. Here is UAL. You could look at AAL. You could look at DAL. You could look at LUV. Lots of tickers to look at here, guys, in the airline space as we send you back. Joe and Obi.
Thank you very much, Adair, for that. All right, so we're starting to get some indecision prints across the board. Let's be patient and wait for some things. Robinhood just went on 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 straight minutes to the top side with some aggressive buying. I don't know if this is going to be short covering or anything along those lines, but boom, trend snapped, and I'm glad that we got it out of that one. Vlad Tenev was like, Joe, what are you doing shorting this thing? That is not a good idea, and he made me pay the price for that. It's going to be my biggest loss on the day, surprisingly, but again, I told you, we're essentially flat on the session, one trade away from potentially getting something. And if it doesn't arise, if I don't see that prime time opportunity, I have no issues with that. I can see Sean shorting NVDA at 185. Was it on a sticky note? I could see that as well too. I mean, his levels are amazing. There's no questioning that. So I mean, right now we're getting that rebound. You had to be patient. This waterfall type price action. Definitely alarming coming out of the gate, but then you get the buyers to step in or shorts covering, whatever it may be. I don't know why this does this. Really buggy system over here. But I mean, look at the TQs, guys. Like downtrend still fully intact. You peak out around here. So just keep that in mind. Like you just get these covers. And one thing I want you to note, and something that I've observed over time as well too, is just look at the price action here, right? Look at the strength in all these bullish candles. We went on this run on, I believe this was Monday or whatever day it was. It doesn't matter. Look at the candles, right? But then look what happens when sellers step in. Look at the strength within the price action. Keep a note on that. This can tell you a significant amount. Each individual candle can tell its own story, and that's the beautiful thing about looking at them. Are they 100% right all the time? Absolutely not. Because if they were, then this game would be significantly easier than what it is. But each individual candle tells you a specific story, and you can build systems off of that. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh yeah.
Oh no. Not another one.
Oh yeah. I mean, and there it goes, guys. Like Robinhood to 125.67. That's crazy. We like that one. Start to recover there. 153, I believe, was the high approximately. So at this point, it's like, hey, Meta continuing to climb higher. We're out of that one right now. Is there a VWAP play? Potentially. I'm all out of that one. It's pretty choppy to sit through. And me personally, as a momentum player, I like it. I like the momentum more. And I'll bring this back up one more time. just to say like, hey, this is what we're looking for in the earnings. Again, this is a downside. What I'll do is on Monday is because I have all of the catalog essentially of the trades, and then we could just break it down, like, because I think this is a good quality system to have, especially if you're looking to trade not only in blue ocean but in the post market as well too. Obi, are you thinking don't do it? I'm telling you, don't. You said HOOD looks interesting.
No, people in the chat were talking about like HOOD.
Oh, HOOD. I was gonna say, yeah. I'm like, don't revert that. They don't revert the Vlad.
What do you mean? Like reversion long or a reversion short?
Short, back into the volume weighted average price. Where are we at VWAP right now?
Well, it's at 125 right now on HOOD, right?
I should be cautious of that thing, man.
The reversion already kind of came in. This is an area of supply from the morning session. And we're kind of knocking on the door of that. But the thing is, like, I don't necessarily want to revert this right away, because I haven't been watching the tape on the run-up. That's gonna, especially on the stuff that's kind of aggressive like this, I feel a little bit more comfortable if I've been watching the tape on the run-up, because I want to trade the distinct difference when sellers step right back in. So if it looks distinctly different, it's looking distinctly different on the chart where, yes, you're getting some red candles here, pulling back in from the 125.90s, which is the day high right now. And it was at the opening session high as well. Opening session high is at 80. So we did clip the opening range high by 10 pennies, and then sellers step right back in. Sellers stepped in pretty aggressively off of the open, giving us a flush of about 4% from the high to the low of the three, I guess the 6-minute opening range, the 15-minute opening range, whatever you want to call it. And we're coming back up into that area. So I want to give it some time here. This was an aggressive strength as well. We're getting expanding volume as well. Volume, literally, you know, funny thing, I say it often because I tend to miss it, but there's so many times where I'll be looking at a stock and I'll forget to look at the volume. Well, volume is literally the #1 indicator.
Absolutely.
The #1 indicator.
Absolutely.
We're getting expanding volume on the push into high a day, right? I don't necessarily want to get with that. If we can actually break on that expanding volume, I think that's good, that volume pushed into there, but we're pulling back, and does the volume fall off is the question. Look, we had that strong volume push, and then strong volume sell as well on the back through. Right?
That can tell you a lot. That tells you a whole lot, right?
It tells you a lot.
Tells you a whole lot.
So now, it's just like what can happen from here? How are the probabilities changing? Again, if I want to get serious, I want to be pulling up the tape and watching that as well.
I'm going to do it one more time.
Man.
I'm going to do it one more time.
Do it one more. Do it for the team.
I am. I'm going to do it one more time. It pains me to do this, but I like our chances here. Hey, man, shooters got to shoot at the end of the day. Let's see. Oh, don't go too far without me. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. No, to add to your point there, Obi, I like what you were bringing up. Just the fact that, like, hey, the volume's starting to stair step higher, and that's what you want to look for. But when the selling volume is equally as strong, that's not what you want to see. You want to see the volume diverge from the actual price, so price be going down, but the volume also stair-stepping down, and then you want to see buyers step back in, and then that can most definitely lead you a lot. So we went on that monster run. I'm doing it. I'm trying to do it one more time. Let's see if we get it, Obi. We're going to take it. I told you not to do it. Vlad told me not to do it, but I'm going to do it anyways. So, I mean, hey, listen, I don't know. I was gonna say if your friends told you to jump up, we don't want to use that example because it's not the best one. But anyways, at the end of the day, boom, there it is, a nice clean flush to the downside. Let's see if we can get some of this loss back than which we had on Robinhood at a significantly better price. But one thing to note, we focus on the tape. You get that flush to the downside, and then you have the buyer step right back in immediately. If it cracks this base high, I'm going to get out of it, and I'll take another small loss on it. But again, and then that's my 3 strikes at the plate. I'm either just completely wrong or my timing's off, and I have to just leave it alone. I think I am Hangry Wife. I think I am. But see, the thing is, though, I think you understand my sarcasm, which is much appreciated. And I would like to classify myself as a sarcastic individual. I don't know. But yeah, I think you understand my sense of humor. A lot of it's based off of the Trailer Park Boys. I was asking Mike P. DeRider if he's ever watched the Trailer Park Boys before, and I don't think he ever replied to me. So
I don't think I've seen.
That's crazy. You haven't seen the best show ever on the planet? Actually, the best Canadian show, I think. It's definitely not the best show ever. That was a little bit of a stretch, but
I know it's gotten a lot of traction as well. Okay, I don't want to be in there. Tried that short. Mike P.
Okay,
the writer saying,
you did. I did.
Okay, all right, nice.
Do you see the visualizer?
What was I saying? Yeah, no, I haven't really necessarily seen a lot of stuff, but it's caught some traction. I know Wayne's a big fan of Trailer
Park Boys caught some traction, brother. It's easily the most funny, ridiculous show you could ever watch. Welcome to the short party. I think it's a good entry. What you do with it is the hard part. Says save man, woman, peace. Let's see, man. I mean, we are going against the grain one more time. This could be just an additional consolidation before it takes another leg higher, which would be a bad idea. It all depends if they want to step in, if we get the volume to step in as well, too. 123 would be really, really nice, but might be a little bit of a stretch as that's almost $2 away from where we're currently trading at right now. Bitcoin coming in more aggressively. I think the reversion or the retracement on that one would be a little bit easier considering how volatile. Joe knows things, says Angry Bear. Hey, man, you know what? See, no, you know what No, I'm not even gonna say it. I did, but I was in spam jail. Oh, they timed you out? Man, that's tough, man. Maracas 100? No, I get the, oh my God, I hate you so much. But we all know. But anyways, aside from that, could you please check out Meta? Absolutely. We've been looking at Meta all day. So yeah, I mean, it broke through. That 600 bounce was really nice in Meta. We were taking a look at the options chain. We had a bunch of things correlating in our favor, and that's going to be a potential put wall off of those lows. So that helped most definitely. But then again, if this thing is really choppy, I told you, someone said, Joe, you look a little stressed when I was talking about Meta and sitting in this position. 100%. I'm like, oh no. Like, it either goes like I'm put an additional significant loss, or I eliminate the majority of it and have a pretty good time where I'm just a step away and one trade away from flipping things around, which we're currently sitting on. So we just thank the trading gods for that one, for allowing us to be in the right place at the right time. So yeah, that one's rocking. Adara, what do you got for us?
President Trump is currently meeting with Viktor Orban, that is the Prime Minister of Hungary. So that's happening right now. They're set to meet once things are happening. I'm just turning on the stream now. There are some ads. So once we are set up and good to go, I will keep you guys posted on this. But either way, President Trump meeting with Viktor Orban. They are meeting. They're waiting for lunch. That is live, and I will be covering this for you right now. I have not seen any headlines yet from this, for what it's worth. So looks like it started a couple minutes ago. Back to you.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, Nvidia. I stopped out of Nvidia there as VWAP came in, and we've reclaimed VWAP at 182s. So I'm just like, all right, well, if we're going to reclaim, the market looks like it's trying to catch a little bit of a bounce here. Don't know if it'll actually make it, but that 25,000 level on the Nasdaq is definitely interesting to me. If we're going to magnet that once more, then yeah, definitely Nvidia might be poised for a little bit higher here. 184s was that consolidation in the morning session, and that selling came in really nicely all the way to 179s. But with the stair step, the breakout, the hold of 180, the breakout of this consolidation, that's a beautiful consolidation there for over an hour long. We break out of 181s, then we reclaim VWAP. Now we're holding 182s on top of VWAP. I liked the short, but those sellers did not follow through back below VWAP. So I'm just like, all right, I'm going to be patient. I don't necessarily want to get involved just yet for a potential continuation short from the sellers that have been dominant on this name all day long. But I'll be a little patient. If this 182 kind of gives up with any sort of distinction, then maybe I want to get back in. But if we're going to chop around a whole dollar or about 50 pennies here, I'd rather not get chopped up in on that. And we're also watching the Nasdaq here as well. If this right here is just another lower high, then I want to keep that in mind as well if we do give up that VWAP at the same time. But that Google did push up a little bit higher. We got to a high of 77.70s on Google. So that worked out pretty nicely. That was just a tape scalp. If anything, Nvidia, I'm tempted in the short, man. I'm tempted for the short on Nvidia, but
yeah, I was
not,
too.
You know, I think. What's that? I'm so tempted. Like, I just got Sean saying he's looking at the same thing as well. Like, the thing is, like, it reclaimed. It came all the way back, right? AMD's under. Okay, we'll take a quick look at AMD here. Okay, yeah, AMD. Here's the thing: AMD and Nvidia have been a little distinctly different over the past couple of weeks, especially since that OpenAI news on AMD. There's been a little bit of a disconnect, but bigger picture action is still kind of happening here. We got some aggressive selling yesterday. We're getting some more selling continuation today, giving back all of their earnings gains. Earnings day one was a pretty aggressive bid that closed pretty much near the high of day, 256s. We made a high of 259.65s that day, gave it all back the next day, and then today we're trading even lower, so a low of 224.70s here. So sellers very, very dominant here on AMD. And yeah, Nvidia, just looking at it to see if it's potentially making some lower highs. I already got chopped once on it here, and it's coming back below that 182. So I'm looking maybe potentially to stay involved with this one as the market pulls back in. Question is, do we break that 24,700? Right, Sean?
Yeah. No, I think that's a real important level. I think there, Obi. Yeah, we got everything for you. Yeah, Joseph, chill. Yeah, there he goes. Katina Man says, okay. So, anyways, Mopar for life says, Joe, chill. Stop messing with Hood, bro. Here, go get a coffee. I appreciate. Yeah, nice short there, Katina Man, off of that one. Katina Man and I are both short now in this market. This was a nice little move to the downside. We'll take a little bit off on Robinhood. You know what they say, Mopar for life. Third time's a charm. You got to have a little confidence in your boy. If I haven't proven otherwise, then, you know, I don't really know what to say, man. But not everything works all the time. But when we get it to work, it works, brother. And it's the same thing with Meta. You guys. Everybody in the chat was like, no, Joe, don't do it. But you got to understand, there's somewhat of, I would like to think that I have a method to the madness. It doesn't always look that way, but there is. So it is what it is. We got you covered. We got you covered, Mike Peter Ryder. It doesn't matter, brother. I'll give you my personal phone number just in case you do have to call somebody.
I know.
I will come and get you personally, and then we can rock and roll from that.
They're following our
whoa.
order flow, bro. I'm telling you,
How's
our order flow's being tracked.
How's your day going, Ramin? All right. Just a genuine question. Just a legit, genuine question. You like the note I left you? Yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah, right there. Sean has my trade right there.
Bang.
Boom. As soon as he punched in, flushes 50 pennies instantly. I was just like, oh man. That was the trade. That was the trade.
It was the trade. It was the trade, man. There was a lot going on with that one. Things
stop pushing this market around, Sean. He takes a fill and it drops 50 pennies, dude. Come on. You got to try to stay. You know the rules, man. You got to try to stay under 1% of the daily traded volume. You can't just push the book around like that. I'm joking. Great entry there, Sean. 182 back through. That was absolutely solid there, and coming into 181.5. So missed that bit there. Where's the next trade is what I'm looking for now. Let's look for the next one here. ARM taking out the day low.
There's no blue ocean tonight.
Sorry, say again. There's no blue ocean tonight because it usually is open the day before the market is open.
4 a.m. right?
So
4 a.m.
Sunday is
Sunday.
when it opens. So, no.
Sorry.
8 p.m.
8 p.m. Sunday. 8 p.m.
8
Sunday.
p.m. Sunday to 4 a.m. Monday is when Blue Ocean will be.
So we get to degen, as Shreve likes to say, on Sunday evening, see what the markets do when they open up. I think it's going to be interesting.
Tonight. Oh, of course. Sundays are always good. They'll do relative volume regardless because I think people are trying to get in for the week. Maybe trying to front run some moves or whatever. Maybe digest some intranet, like some news that might have come over the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
You get a chance Sunday night to start positioning into some of those things as well, right?
Look, there we go. We got this thing. We got the desk working up there as well too. So that's looking pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks really nice. So there it is, guys. On Robinhood there, I'm so used to trading IBIT. So Robinhood, you get that flush. We're coming back to the break even. We do take a little bit off there. So if that comes there, then we'll just hop out of that trade. No worries about that. So 20, all right, so yeah, okay. Continue to hold until break even. We're not going to try to get too worried, but if it decides that it wants to pop, no issue. Yeah. Could have that been just an aggressive breath in the overall market? Yeah, possibly, for sure. But I think sellers are still obviously in control of today's session with the exception of a couple names. It's balanced, right? This is just, if you look at the bigger picture on Robinhood, you're just trading within this $4 range, right? So, I mean, that's pretty lofty for a $120 stock, but here it is, a nice indecision print off of those lows. Could this be a potential signal for a bounce play? Let's wait for the day to finish out. If it were to close as a complete hammer up to 126, I would most definitely be looking to get involved via swing, not even in the long term. I would want to swing that trade for sure. But there it is, a nice flush to the downside, but now you're starting to get a little bit of a buy back up. Is this going to be just a breath before you take an additional leg lower? Keep an eye on the volume profile in which we were talking about earlier in the day. And if it stays relatively cool, could be a good ad opportunity there, Obi.
Yeah, for sure. Roger, I'm going to be horrible with pronouncing that. Asagura. So Roger in the chat saying, Obi, start rewarding yourself with baby trades and you'll gain confidence on an off day. I think that's great. When you're on a bit of a, when you're in a bit of a rut, thank you for putting that on the screen there. So yeah, I think that's great advice. When you're in a bit of a rut, that's what you got to do. And I say this to traders all the time. You're in a bit of a red streak. The best thing to do that I've found is just to get a little bit of green under your belt. Take those baby trades, take those quick scalps, right? Be patient for that moment where it's just like, yes, I know this is gonna go with a very high probability. Maybe it only goes 10 pennies. Lock that in. Get that green under your belt. You start gaining that confidence again. You start gaining that conviction once again, and then you can get back to kind of pushing normal size or even getting uncomfortable with pushing size as well. But yeah, you got to work your way back up slowly into it. That always happens, and it's happened so many times where I'll just be like 3 days red, and I'll just be like, oh boy, something's happening. I forgot how to trade. I don't know what's happening. I don't know how to trade the markets anymore. All these thoughts start jumbling my mind. But then I take a breather. I'm just like, hey man, just got to go back to the basics. Look at the reason why you were red. A lot of times it has nothing to do with the trade strategy itself, and it has more to do with me and me not executing the trade strategy as effectively or as promptly as I definitely can, right? So regardless, get some green under the belt, and that's a great way to get back on the horse. So shout out to Roger for pointing that out. Let's see, where's the next trade? OpenDoor continues to push higher, man. 650 is just grinding higher. So every 10, 20, 15 to 20 penny pullback on this one gets pushed right back up. Nice little bid on this one on the day today. OpenDoor, DVLT at high a day saying Bhavin Patel. Okay, DVLT, let's take a quick look at that one. DVLT. Data Vault AI. Okay, does this one do any volume? Okay, some solid bars there. 33 million shares done on the day today. Okay, but it's only $1.50. It's only $1.50 stock. Seems like it's halted up, maybe? 52s? Actually, no, it's not halted up. This thing is still kind of moving around. So good look on that one there. Not really trading it here as of right now. But yeah, let's take a quick look at our volume leaders. OpenDoor, we've been watching this one pretty aggressively and closely all day long, and you can see the stair step that I've been pointing out on this one. Nvidia as well, pushing up. Nice little chop on that. VWAP still hasn't really made a decision about higher or lower here as of right now. Archer, this one had earnings. I had this one on watch for earnings. Gap down, okay. Well, this was one of the ones I might have potentially missed. Take a look at this after hours action. Very, very peculiar action when something starts barcoding like this. Bit of a held offer. Maybe there's some business being done. There's an order that's being dealt with here. Boom, 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 boom. You see that barcoding action come into play, especially on something like an earnings day after getting chopped up and sold off pretty aggressively to the downside, all the way from a high, reference high on earnings at $9.68. And then look at the pullback, guys. Let's just measure this pullback real quick. Off of that, 17% pullback. Into pre-market lows from after-hour highs, 23% pullback. This thing is definitely opening up on SSR today, but guess what? That $8 churn that we saw all after hours, and it couldn't hold in the pre-market as well, guess what? Supply steps right back in for a nice little continuation. So a strong miss on my part for Archer Aviation. Julian saying, Obi, they said they're buying an airport in LA of all places and didn't explain why. Yeah, I don't know what any sort of the news or the fundamentals on this is, but that's mainly because the price action speaks so much more to me than the actual fundamentals. I'll leave that to people. That's way above my my pay grade. Let's just say that. MSGM here on the day, bit of a reversion. Okay, so small cap runner here, 22 million shares, $22 million market cap on this one. Motorsport games, but pulling back to the downside here after a high of 580s in the pre-market. This is nice, man. This is the kind of stuff that I like to look for. Look at the lick grab that happened in the pre-market session, kind of telling you that, okay, earnings reaction, we were really, really strong on the earnings reaction, and we pushed up about 100%, over 100% from $2.70 to a high of $5.50s, $5.60s. We basically false break that in the pre-market, make lower highs, and then look at this consolidation. This is a 4-hour-long consolidation in the pre-market session that failed to follow through after hours earnings reaction highs. When we break down, I don't know, but just the probability of who might be in charge or who might no longer be in charge or who might be offside is potentially the longs, right? And who might be in charge might be sellers, because those longs have now become sellers below this reference point, especially anybody and everybody who got long in the pre-market session from about 5 a.m. Anybody and everybody who got long in the after hours session after about 7 p.m., right? So a little bit of an offside move there on MSGM. Wow. Motorsport, definitely some games being played on that one. Tesla to the downside here as well. 421.88s are the day lows. Intel plug. Didn't really had Intel on watch this morning, man. But because we had that shake and bake in the after hours, guess what? Off of the open, it gave us more of the same, so I didn't participate. Just straight up shake and bake on this one. Nothing happening here. SoFi looking similar, sideways chop. So other than that, don't really have anything else on watch. Here, and okay, so Nvidia is coming back up into that 183 right now. So we did get that initial selling that came in pretty aggressively, but we bid right back up to consolidation highs. So yeah, still a little indecisive here at VWAP. And as I said before, if this 183 breaks, that 183 half is that next structure, that 184 is that next structure. So a little bit of a 50 penny double stack of resistance on Nvidia here. What do you got going on, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to lie to you, sports and stonks, but maybe it will. You never know, right? Critical alt. I'm glad that you flipped there, because we got out. As soon as it came against us aggressively, we got out of that break even. So you take a little bit, and then it just decides to rip a couple dollars from that point. So that's why you got to get out. Winning trade, no chance is turning into a loser, that's for sure. I swapped, so it was good. So Patty Dusky, you know, they don't ask just how many. Oh, Joseph, not for long, my brother. Remember one of the Trump sons told us to buy the dip as a good insider info. All right, man, I appreciate that. Yeah, so as long, hey, I'm with you though, brother. It's either feast or famine around these neck of the woods.
He told us to buy.
Told us to buy.
He told us when to buy.
Told us when to buy.
What are we buying?
I think it was one of the sons talking about crypto. Please get ready to short hood after 2 red candles. Again, my brother says drop system. No, I don't want to stand in front of this at this point. To be honest with you, it's one of the stronger names. And this is what I want us to take a look at as well, too. I mean, I took 3 attempts. Those are my at-bats, right? We got on base with that one, but then shortly after it was a double play, so we got out of there at that break even. So, boom, the inning's done. I'm not going to stand in front of this bad boy anymore, because you can see a lot of these names have been aggressively selling on the session, and then you had Robinhood just trading within this specific range, not participating with the waterfall type PA that we experienced in a lot of the tech names, and then sure enough, it just, boom, skyrockets to the top side. I'm like, where is VWAP? And sure enough, it's pretty far away from there, which is slightly surprising at 130.30, which is, I found slightly interesting. No, that can't be right. It can't be right whatsoever. Something's going on with this thing.
What is that stock?
It's Robinhood. I know for a fact that's right, because I'm looking at the volume weighted average price over here. It's really buggy, this stuff is over here. So, I mean, as for the TQs, I was thinking about a potential long here on Tesla. Like, you get that pop, you get the pullback, and then now you're starting to climb a little bit higher. Is there a reload opportunity, Katina Man, on NVDA up at 182.60s? That second opportunity might be there. Obi, are you still looking at the short on NVDA, or are we thinking go with the flow maybe here?
No, so when it got back above 182, I punched out. But yeah, this 183 false break could be it here as well. But here's the thing: the market has just started printing this fresh 15-minute candle, and we're catching a little bit of a pullback. Right? This is what I'm looking at here. I wish I could make this a little bit bigger here. So yeah, yes, we can. So these are the 15-minute candles here on the Nasdaq. So this was the bounce that we initially saw. That came in off of that 24/7 test. We're up to 24/8s and holding, consolidating, holding higher lows, and holding this consolidation as well. So the initial start of this candle with a little bit of selling, maybe, I don't know. I'm watching OpenDoor as well. That kind of false broke 650s as of right now, but still consolidating 33s. So I still got to figure out how to effectively kind of get involved with this one before it falls apart. But that could very well not happen either, right? Prior bars on the 30 minutes have been violated. Prior bars on the hourlies have been actually not violated, but that's way too low. That's at 24. That's 10 pennies lower. I don't know if I want to do that and risk all the way up to the highs at 50s, right? I'd rather risk a little bit less. But if the trade is there and I have to risk that much, then it is what it is. I just size down and take the trade for what it is, right? SoFi catching a little bit of a bid here as well. Drop System asking about how about IREN, IREN. I know this one. I think this is earnings day 3 or 4. Actually, you know what? No, during earnings day 1. Sorry. Yeah, we were doing some stuff running into earnings. That's what it was. So IREN had earnings last night, and then off of the open, we did kind of flush below those references. So pre-market low breakdown on this one. That was one to snipe on IREN. That came in striking down hot. Like some iron. But 63 is held as VWAP as of right now. Reclaim on VWAP, so don't really see anything too crazy here as of right now. If you were looking for the false break of day lows, that did come in, was a little bit choppy, but that reversion came in pretty nicely here. You can see that, I guess even if you draw like a bit of a trend, that trend broke right there at 59s to catch us a bit of a bid for reversion back to VWAP. But right now, let's see what's up with some news with the DARE.
Keep an eye here on DIS Disney. We did have an update here from lawyers for ESPN and Disney Entertainment saying that there is no deal in place yet for ESPN and ABC to be back available on YouTube TV. So it looks like the standstill with YouTube TV and Disney remains. I do want to mention as well, DIS reporting earnings next Thursday before the bell. Back to you.
Jack Bubkiss, he says, Joe, close those IBIT short calls. I mean, brother, I've already collected 75% of the premium, so I mean, I could not even worry about it whatsoever. But I mean, I could also hold them until the expiration, which is 2 weeks from now. I don't think that IBIT gets up to 66 in 2 weeks. Could I be wrong? I hope I am. But that may not be a bad idea, to be honest with you, considering I've already collected the majority of the premium, and then we can just wait and see what happens come next week. And then one thing that I was thinking of doing as well, too, because I'm long so many, well, I'm not so many, I have 6 contracts at 65. I'm not going to be averaging in, but one thing that I can potentially do, let's pull up the actual chain right now and just kind of gauge on some of our opportunity, our chances here. So full disclosure, we collected, I paid $1,000 for those 6 contracts, each obviously. And then also I was writing these contracts to 60. I had the 14th expiration. I was writing 69s. Those are essentially worthless. So I closed those, collected 70% of the premium on that, closed those, rolled over to the 21st of November expiration cycle, and then I sold the 66s and I collected $70, right? So I've already, I collected $70 per contract on that one, and those are only worth $22, so I could close those. But worst case scenario, if things get a little bit more wretched in Bitcoin, what I can do is just flip my long contract, considering they don't expire until May, I can essentially run a credit spread, a call credit spread from what I currently have because I'm the owner of these, so I have the rights to the 65s. And what I was thinking is head over to the next cycle, which is going to be the December 5th, and write the 60s, and then that way we'll collect a substantial amount of premium. And so, like, again, this is the beauty of what. This is the beauty of just buying yourself some time in options, is because you allow yourself to do this. And if I continuously take a loss, then it is what it is. At some point, I have to come to the realization that, hey, this trade may not be working, but what I can do in the meantime, while it is not working, is make a little bit of that loss significantly smaller. We'll turn on our strategy builder right here, and then worst case scenario, we head over into the, we'll call it the 64s, right? Because I have the 65s. So we'll collect $100 each, and we'll see what the profile is looking like right now. And that is going to be, oh, that's just one. We don't want any of that garbage. We have significantly more than that. So we'll take a look at the profile now and see that we collect $612, but our probability of profit is through the roof. Look at this. So what the options market is telling us right now, that essentially Bitcoin or IBIT itself has zero chance, well, not a 20% chance of trading above 64 before December 5th. Sorry, I know there's stuff going on. Bro, Jogan, Joe, what's your average days out of your options contracts? Do you like to give yourself extra days wiggle room or keep closer to a limit volatility? I don't have an average day. I have a trade plan, and honestly, this trade plan just went to. It was worst case scenario, so essentially what I had to do is start writing calls against this because I was like a couple grand out of the money right out of the gates. No, Sean, first of all, I own plenty of it. This is something different, right? I can't sell Bitcoin against Bitcoin. I can't write contracts. I can continuously DCA into the actual asset itself. But when those things are going lower, there's no way that I can be like, hey, how can I make some money on the back end of this, right? And this is the beauty of why this thing is optionable. So what about instead of purely trading the options and value trading cash secured puts and covered calls instead, so you always have underlying value both ways? So essentially that's what I'm doing, right? Like, it's the poor man's covered call, Jesper. I'm not selling CSPs for 600 shares. Right? I don't want to own them. I'm options trading. I don't want to, like, again, if you're selling CSPs right now, good luck, because the chances are you're an owner at multiple strike prices, right? So essentially what I'm doing is the poor man's covered call with the owning of the options contract that expire in May, and you write against it. Worst case scenario, you roll over, and if it continuously doesn't work, at some point you have to come to the conclusion that, hey, your thesis is just far gone and it's not going to work. That's not the case right now. What we're doing is selling nearer term premium. 28 days later, shout out to the movie, you can write this and collect. So it's like, okay, I collect 10% last time and I lost 10% this time, another 10%, et cetera, or even more, 20% on this case for what the loss is going to be. Eventually that drastically adds up, and if it starts to work out, then watch the appreciation, because you've collected so much premium in the meantime that once it starts working, you have that passive income and then the appreciation of the underlying asset, Obi. Sorry, I went on a little bit there.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Get into it. You get me heated.
Got to answer those questions that the chat has for you for sure. Dropped system. I missed your chat a little bit earlier there, saying Obi, Hawthorne Airport, few points. So this is what Drop System is saying here. A few points. He's saying that Elon's plane apparently is parked there. Elon's rumors on Archer are already out there. Elon on Rogan said basically Roadster car will fly, and Elon just got $1 trillion. So
did you watch? Did you watch the investors meeting?
No,
yesterday?
I did not watch the investors meeting, but yeah, all great points. At the end of the day, I think even if you have that strong conviction, you got to be a little potentially price ignorant, because it's not solid news. If you're getting into something in anticipation of a big news result, things can go absolutely crazy, right? They can move multiple percents both ways before really anything happens. So you'll be wary of that. We'll be right back from Madeira.
Trump just said here that inflation is at a perfect number and that it's way down. Inflation's way down. Energy is better. So yeah, Trump talking a lot here about inflation. He also earlier mentioned Walmart once again and their Thanksgiving prices and the price of their Thanksgiving meals compared to last year. The point is Walmart was mentioned, didn't really move that much. Again, Trump discussing inflation, saying it's at a perfect number, and you always want, quote, a little inflation. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I got nothing.
Yeah, just this Nvidia is slowly starting to climb up. Just kind of grind up here.
That's the thing.
I got short halves, but this thing is looking to test potentially the next structure here. So 83 halves was that next structure, and I was like, okay, 83 halves and then 84s. So we're kind of in that area right now in the market. Take a look at this. We were watching those 15-minute candles, and there's a continuation potentially happening here on the Nasdaq and the ES, as well as these 15-minute candles push a little bit higher here and print maybe a bit of a reversion, right? So Nvidia has reverted more than 50%. We got that VWAP reclaim. And okay, so 650s maybe not the place to be on OpenDoor as sellers kind of step right back in. So maybe 650s is the place here. I'm watching a little bit closer, but what do you got going on? What's good in that hood? I see you're watching that chart.
Yeah, I'm just going to avoid it, right? Like we took this, shout out to Mopar, man. You're right, Joe, just avoid it. And you know what, that's it. We took it, that's the double. We took the 2 losses earlier, didn't break through that support level in which we were looking for. We get that at the peak, you do get that pullback, but it was just a breath before it wanted to take an additional leg higher. Now going positive on the session, up 1/5%. Like bang, like shout out to Robinhood, man. And the same thing with NVDA. We're thinking about taking a potential short on that one, but a breath from 181.55s, and then now you're trading up to 183.55. So that's $2 just like that, as quick as you like. I think there's going to be some other opportunities, but at this point, I'm going to be extremely patient and wait for some prime time opportunities. What has Meta been doing? Yeah, it's still slightly above VWAP. QUBT was definitely my missed opportunity of the day. I wanted to take it long at 1170, and then it climbed all the way, and it was an absolute beautiful print. I'll show you what the algo picked up on it. It already hit that 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which I was like, okay, nice. We'll take that all day, every day. So here it is. Bang. And once again, as soon as I seen it, I know what it's going to pick up. It just eliminates the discretionary aspect, right? So it's just like, boom, it hits, and then boom, and then sure enough, hypothetically, you're sitting on some, come on here now. Come on now. You can do it. Boom. So yeah, you're not going to complain whatsoever about that, right? Considering, but the performance on it is still not too good. Like we go across another names, again, it's from September, so just a little bit over of a month. MU about to bust through VWAP. What are your thoughts on plug moving forward? Can I look at SPY remaining 25% over 2 weeks? Close those, and you can find a better entry if BTC break below. Jack Bubkis, yeah, you're talking about my short calls, right? Yeah, there's 69s. I've collected 70. Exactly. And you know what? You're 110% right, Jack. Like, I couldn't agree with you more, because I say the exact same thing. You've collected the majority of the premium in a span of 1 week. You may as well just close it out, and if worst case scenario, you roll it over. So probably after the show or at some time today, I will do that. So that is a fact, Jack. I like how you worded that, and it's exactly what I preach as well, too. So you got to practice that, and I 110% agree with you. I can tell that you have a little bit of, you're a veteran there, Jack Bubkis, with the options trading, just because I preach the same thing. It doesn't mean I am a vet or anything along those lines. All right, why not? Ooh, Shadow, why not? Thanks, Adara, for analyzing Trump's talks. I was watching it yesterday, and boy, he rambles and rambles. Love hearing that. Let's take a look at SoFi for some of our friends. We'll take a look at SPY later, as I know some people were asking us about it, and then MU as well. Micron. I don't love this name for an intraday trader. I always find it fakes me out quite a bit, but here's one that's profitable on it, right? In the span of a month, September to 27th, we can take a look at what the profit factor is just through the wazoo. That's insane. On a 33% accuracy, right? Get this out of here, man. There, thank you. On a 33% accuracy. That's beautiful. We'll take that all day, every day. Where's the list of the trades? Where's the big winner? And take a look at what's going on with it. Straight out of the gate, out of the opens, closes it at 4 a.m. the next day. Beauty, 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 October 27th. A couple of days for that to work, but you're not going to complain about that whatsoever. We'll take a look at SoFi as well, too, guys, and see what's going on with that one. Boom, another one. Bang, we like that. List of trades. October was the last one, but 50% accuracy in the past month. We'll take that all day. Now, as for the SPY, we can take a look at that. It doesn't perform overly well on the ETFs, so I'm just gonna eliminate some of the names that doesn't perform well and things that it will, considering. And the reason why it won't work relatively well on the quantum space is because you have to take into consideration the current downtrend. This is essentially a retracement play, so it's looking for extreme lows, and then it will take the long off of that. And if you have something that's in a consistent downward slope, it's going to be bad, bad, bad. So, say accuracy, no problem. I just said it for you. Hopefully, you can record that and do what you want with it. But at the end of the day, Adair, what do you got for us?
Trump was just asked if he's worried about an AI bubble. He's still answering the question, but he said, no, I'm not worried about an AI bubble. I love AI. We're leading China in AI. We're leading the world in AI. So Trump very bullish on AI, specifically AI from the US. Back to you.
Thank you for that. And then we just go back over to the daily as well, too, right? It's just boom. Again, you're cracking that downtrend on the SPY. We drew this not too long ago, so just keep an eye out. This could be a nice recovery on the session, but now considering we're on the backside of this, could be just a potential retest, and then we continue a little bit lower. My boy, can you short hood for a quick second? No, I'm not shorting that thing. I'm not shorting that thing anymore on today's session because it looks like we're going to recover today, and we got Nvidia still steadily grinding higher.
Have you? That reminds me. Have you ever seen? Okay, I'm out of Nvidia.
Yeah.
So I tried the Nvidia short. I got pretty aggressive there on that push into fours, and then I was watching the moving average that it's holding as well. I was like, all right, well, let's see how cleanly it's holding the moving average. And we pull back in the 8 EM. Depends on what you're looking at. I like to just use the basics, the 8, 21, 50, 100, 200, whatever. When it comes to kind of trend defining trends, one way to define trends is a moving average. But yeah, it just kind of holds and pulls back in. Just a quick tape scalp there from 183.69s all the way down to 183.30s. So that came, so that came in pretty quickly, but bidding right back up. So quick little scalp there. Didn't really follow through. And this is the thing. I find that I'm only able to really trade like that if I'm staring the tape down as aggressively as I can, because I'm just taking tape scalps, to be honest. This is a tape scalp. Right? There's nothing on the chart that's really telling me to get in. There's no like volume signatures necessarily that are telling me to get in. But it's just straight up rainbow on the tape. As some people like to call it. I think we have some breaking news with Adair.
Q&A time with Trump and Orban is over. The White House administration individuals are saying, thank you, press, kicking the press out. Trump's done talking, guys. If there is anything else, I'll let you know, but there's really nothing else on his schedule today other than him flying over to Palm Beach. Back to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, what do you got going on? Anything else? The market is reverting, actually, right? So it's like we were looking for that potential reversion. Earlier, we called it saying that, oh, this is the 15-minute candle with a distinct difference. I should forget about Nvidia and Google and OpenDoor and whatever and just straight up trade the futures, because sometimes when the futures get directional, they stay with the direction while their constituents get chopped up. Because at the end of the day, you gotta understand, some of the constituents can be crowded on the intraday, whereas the ES or the Nasdaq might just be doing a regular, it's just a regular day. It's just doing regular, normal relative volume or even less relative volume. But yeah, something to watch out for. Okay, so some strong sellers coming in here on open. I just saw a strong wipe that came in, yeah, nothing too crazy just yet. Still holding in that upper quartile of the day's range, right? 635. This is the full chart. So if we're just going to consolidate, hold, chop, 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 chop like this, just my stats show maybe not the best kind of price action to revert. Something that's better to revert is something that shows some sort of symmetry. I think some of the best reversions show a decent amount of symmetry when it comes to price action. And there's one higher time frame, bigger picture, swing trade reversion that I've been calling for the longest time, and it's now become a textbook reversion, right? It's now become textbook reversion, and that's Meta platforms. That's Meta platforms on, let's say, you can see it on the weekly, on the monthly, but let's clean it up. We'll go to a 3-month chart. I think something crazy is happening right now. So we'll be right back from Madeira with some breaking news.
Sorry guys, keep an eye here on Trump Media Technology and Boeing. Scott Bessent, who is of course the US Treasury Secretary, just said that Boeing gave Trump their Salesman of the Year award last month. And when I say Trump, I mean President Trump. I don't have any more details on this. It seems like this is a comment that Scott Bessent made, and I will look into Boeing's Sale of the Year awards if this is a thing to see if this is accurate. But either way, Scott Bessent just said that Boeing awarded US President Donald Trump Salesman of the Year in, I guess, the ceremony last month. Back to you.
That's interesting that they would name him that after they've been sold off so aggressively and can't really catch a bid. Seems like they're fishing for bids. I don't know.
Well, I mean, yesterday Trump also said that he respects Walmart, which, I mean,
Walmart's great.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. I said I respect it too. I didn't know.
We got a super chat here.
It's crazy.
From Jag. So thank you very much, Jag, with the super chat saying, Joe, Adara, and Obi, you guys are awesome. Thank you. You're awesome. Thank you for everything, guys. Everything you guys do. Love that you all have poppies. Respect to all our veterans. Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, no, thanks, Jag. Jag's a good guy, man. He's a fellow Ontarian as well, too, if that's what we call ourselves. So he's a good guy, man. Good guy. For sure. Meet him one day, hopefully. But yeah, thank you very much, Jag. Mike P says he's going to.
That's not the Jag that we know, is it?
No.
Not that Jag.
Mike P. the Rider says he's going to Iron Maiden in May.
Okay.
So he's coming to Toronto. That would be interesting. So yeah, I mean, you're welcome, brother. You can obviously stay at Sharif's house. He's already told me that. So you already got your room and board.
Sleep over at Sharif's?
Yeah. You guys are locked in. Over there, so and Ozan's staying too, so you guys may as well just time your flights so Sharif can pick you guys up and everything like that. But yeah, other than that, guys, what are we looking for here? Everything is grinding higher. Will I think that sellers will step in at some point? Possibly. NVDA is just on the warpath right now, off of those 178 lows up to 183.99. Volatility is in the overall market. We may as well take a look at the VIX and see what it's been up to, because considering we're going to have some heightened volatility, so let's pull that bad boy up. Oh, that's not what I wanted to. Okay, I mean, yeah, it's up there. We'll pull it up on something else here. Meta's been an absolute monster trade. Unfortunately, we're way out of that one. We grabbed the bottoms, the very bottoms on META. To VIX, and we'll get this rocking and rolling. Let's get the index up and see what we're looking at. Here it goes. Robinhood continuing to grind as well. This is a 5-minute on the VIX, so that's all the way up there. We get to above 22, 29. I remember, I think it was earlier in the summer, I was trying to buy some calls in the VIX. Well, I wasn't trying to, I did. It's not the best play, and to be honest, you're just expecting volatility. It's always, I think, buying puts is better, the better route there on the VIX, considering, right, it always just sells right off, or not sells, reverts anyways, back to the mean, and things start to cool down when everybody's less fearful. But again, a climb higher. Is it going to climb to 24? I was hearing some talks about 24 on the VIX, even maybe potentially 30, but that would be pretty substantial if you ask me. Again, any big time pop in the VIX, I'm going to be looking to participate. Yeah, Jacob, sorry, man. Apologize about it. It's just my, when I'm thinking about something and trying to get something rocking and rolling. I'm not sorry, to be honest. So anyways, Tesla, yeah, Tesla's continuing to grind. Buy VIX when high. No, you mean sell VIX when high? Or are you actually saying like buy calls on VIX, Rivian? I would say buy puts is what you're essentially getting at. I think that's going to be a good route when it's extremely elevated. But Google finally going to pop. Let's see what Google's been up to on the session. I'm glad that Meta's starting to recover up to 611. That's a pretty good look there. I know a lot of individuals will own calls on it, buying it off of those lows. It's the thing is that I was willing to be significantly more patient on this name and wait for a prime time opportunity. At the money IV on next week's expiration cycle, around 34.80, not too bad. Yeah, other than that, guys, what is everyone looking at? The market has definitely recovered pretty strong. We got NVDA almost back to opening price, not too far from it. So yeah, that's a pretty good look. We have Tesla starting to grind back towards the volume-weighted average price. Robinhood lives in its own universe right now, as it's back up to 127. We like that one there for sure. IREN, let's take a look at that. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm not at the end of the day. Because it is what it is. I'll do it right now because as I'm typing something is usually when I tend to do it. So let's get over to IREN. Just comes natural and see what we got going on with this name. I know it had a lot of options activity lately, so there it goes. Consistent downtrend downtrend here. But I mean, look at this run that it's been on from May. Like the middle of summer is just absolutely insane. If you go from April to where we're currently trading at, that's 1,000% there, Obi. So I know you're not in anything. I'm not either. Do we wait for a potential top here? I don't know if it's going to come into play.
Coming back, man.
Coming back
to 184 halves. We talked about like the potential, right? We were talking about
coming
improbabilities, right?
Like climbing higher to
climbing higher, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was
that's what I'm saying.
The probability of Nvidia getting back to open increases significantly if we see the Nasdaq magneting back to that 25,000, which we've seen it do over and over and over again over the past couple of months, right? So it's like if we broke down pretty aggressively, we chopped it up a little bit off of the open session, and then we sold off a little bit. So it kind of, that chop, that consolidation, that attempt at price acceptance around that 25,000 just kind of showed me right off of the open that this continues to be a little bit of a level of interest, because the market showed us that on the way down after a pre-market session all the way from 25,350s, we kind of bleed all the way down to 25,000. We chop it up a little bit, and then we drop down even more to 24.7s for another 300 points lower there off of that number. And then we catch a bid relatively nearby, relatively within range on a day that the market sold off over 2%. It sold off 1.3 right now, but we were sold off more than 2% down here. And then we start getting reversion signals. We start getting Nvidia breaking back above this 181 1-hour-long consolidation and then VWAP reclaim, right? So I was like, okay, that 185, 186 it increases in probability if we can see this market to revert back to the upside here. I don't have a VWAP on here, but I know for a fact that the SPY is past its VWAP, and so are the TQs. They've reclaimed and held so far, so we are attempting a bit of a push. And we've got a little bit of a 50% retracement on our hands. The ES has already done that with respect to the opening prices. That's where the open was. So about a 50% retracement on the ES has already happened. And that's coming into fruition here on the NASDAQ as we get that 50% retracement. So shout out to reversions. Sometimes they can be mean, but when you're on the right side of them, they are pretty decent and nice. But I got to figure out a way to better get involved with some of these because I'm seeing it happen on the futures. Might as well take some beta related positions on that, on say something like the Qs or the SPY, and exercise that as well. But Nvidia giving us a majority of the move, reverting over 50% of its morning price action. You can see the selling that came in as well in the morning. It was this was very much a short in the morning session. Right? Continuation of the past few days of selling, but coming into Friday, do we really expect it to puke into the close? I don't know. But if a bid does show up and it shows you with conviction that we can step up and accept prices, I think that's something to watch out for as well. I like the short. I attempted it a couple of times, but it's clearly not working as of right now. You had that DJT up from earlier, DJT and Boeing. That's kind of funny news there. Was already doing relative volume coming in off of the open, right? So maybe in anticipation of Trump talking, because we already knew he was going to talk at some point today. 185's coming in here now on Nvidia as we held the quarter. We're printing the half. The question now becomes, can we hold the half and print the next quarter, which is 75s. And this is just grind up. Another thing, dude, like I realized, like I go back and look at like some of my biggest losers.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when I lose big. So it's I'm just like, okay, like what's really getting me into this situation? And a lot of times it's a grinding price action. I'm trying to fade grinding price action.
Yeah.
So, and that's some of the hard, that's so hard to kind of get myself away from it sometimes, because it's like, it's grinding, it looks like it's breaking, it looks like it's done, and then the grind steps right back in.
Yeah, it's like everything instantly step back in.
Yeah, it's like if I can just step up a time frame, throw on a moving average, you'll see that it's probably just holding something.
You know what, Obi, I'll be honest with you, I think with that is when you see something that is extremely strong and just continuously grinding, eliminate the FOMO and just go to something else. Yeah, just like drop it in. It's hard, but just drop it and then just find something else.
Where's the next trade?
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah. It's like trying to fade NVDA on just coming off a good catalyst. Yeah, the trade might happen, but again, this is Wall Street's favorite stock right now. The chance of it just getting continuously bought up.
Palantir.
No, NVDA.
Oh, NVDA.
Yeah. It's the favorite, right? So it's just that continuous grind. It happens, and it's just best to avoid it at all costs. Is what I find. Adara, what do you got for us?
I have more updates with regards to this airline situation now. In case you guys have missed it, one of the biggest things here with regards to the market that's been interesting to watch with the shutdown has been these air carriers, because they've been having some flight cuts related to pressures here with the shutdown, again, specifically with air traffic controllers. So we have comments coming from the U.S. Department of Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. He's saying that these flight cuts, which are going to be at 10%, apparently by November 14th at 6 a.m. Sean Duffy now saying they could reach 20% if the situation worsens with regards to the shutdown. So some concerns here, more flight cuts potentially on watch, according to DOT Secretary Sean Duffy, as we send you back to Joe and Obi.
And there it goes, Obi. Like, I mean, there goes NVDA. See, the thing is, though, how many attempts did you take on NVDA today? 2 or 1?
For the long?
Yeah, no, short.
1
or
1, 2.
2. Boom, that's it. 2 attempts. A continuous grinding. Boom. See you later. Regardless of what happens, done. I'm out of there.
This is the one.
Yeah.
This is the one. It wasn't necessarily
Open?
a grinding chop.
Yeah.
Like, let's take a look at this 1 minute. It's not necessarily a grinding chop. It's SSR as well. Here, I think here we talked about this.
Yeah.
I got short for a good reason. Stops me out. I have to chase 20 pennies lower because it's SSR, and I'm like, this could get through the opening price. So I chase it down, it stops on VWAP, I get out. And I think that moment right there, that's creating the FOMO for me, because I'm already a little bit irritated that I couldn't get the prices that I wanted. 20 pennies is a lot on a $6 stock, right? So that's a decent chunk of what I'm looking for. I ended up catching 20 pennies here anyways, right? So I gave up half the move just to be like, all right, I still think this is on, I still need to chase this down, stop out when it comes back in, and then this is trouble right here. So selling, chop, like, sell, high of consolidation, get stopped out, get right back in, prior high gets stopped out, slams down, I'm like, okay, now it's in, slam, get stopped out on the break of this high, right? Step back in, and then I'm like, I don't, and then I notice the and then I'm like, I'm just gonna take a break even, maybe look back at it later. I try again here, roughly take a break even as well, as well. But this is, like, bigger picture, I'm sure, like, 1 minute, it does seem like a little bit of, it doesn't really seem as much of a grind, but I'm for sure if I go up to a 5 minute, like, that's kind of grindy. Steady. Look at the 15 minute, that's pretty damn grindy on the 15 minute.
And for me, guys, again, everybody has their own trading system. We all trade significantly different. But for me, see, this looks like a pretty good short opportunity on NVDA right now. Can we take it? Absolutely. If you like to trade, take it. But you also have to have those parameters in where if it doesn't work, how many attempts am I going to give that? And for me, you guys hear me say the 3-strike rule. It's the exact same as baseball. You can take break evens, whatever, it's a ball, we count it. But 3 strikes, I'm off the plate. And if I find myself taking more than 3 attempts on one specific entry, then I'm either tilted, which is probably there's a higher probability of that, or I'm just completely wrong and I'm not willing to accept the fact that I'm wrong. And that's not something that you want, especially in this game, because the market is always right. It doesn't matter. You just have, if you're right, it's just because you just happen to go in the flow with it. The market is always right, 10 times out of 10. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you and I think, because we're nothings at the end of the day. We don't move this. It can chew up all of your money right now, and then it's going to do the exact same thing that I was going to do. It doesn't matter. So you have to treat it for what it is, because the market is just. All right. I think there's a good opportunity here on the short on NVDA. Are you thinking you're taking it? I'm thinking about taking it.
You're like, I'm thinking of taking it. I'm already short.
Well, but again, 3-strike rule. We can take it. I have it. I've taken one trade on NVDA throughout the day. Let's see how strong this can be. Again, if it breaks this signal high, I might just avoid it at all times. You embody in these words to work with a sense of urgency to build consistency. Absolutely. You single-handedly moved hood. Don't sell yourself short, says Drop System. I didn't at the end of the day. I didn't personally. It's saying that we all just retail traders, swing traders trying to compete with these whales. Yeah, that's essentially what I'm getting at, man. That's essentially what I'm getting at, man. We unfortunately don't have the account sizes to move these things. So you have to take it for what it is and try to just go with the flow. And that's what they're saying. With the volume, you just want to stick with it. And there goes NVDA getting bought up one more time there, Obi. 184.50s. I'm looking for these highs to hold. The one thing to note here is that we don't have the volume print that we were specifically looking for here, considering inverted hammer candle, beautiful, right at opening price. Like, look at that, almost to the penny there, guys, at 184.81s. And then sure enough, we don't have the volume supporting that inverted print. Anything can happen on that front, but yeah, that's what we got. That's what we got going on there. Now, as for anything else, I told you guys one trade away. I will be doing. Oh, hold on, stock visualizer. We got to do that, guys. We got 20 minutes. Make sure you get those votes in. What are we gonna vote for here today? I'm gonna say something that we got. We took a couple of losses on Obi. Make sure your vote $, and then what do you got in there? Tesla $, Tesla.
I'm allowed more than one vote?
Yeah, I mean, well, sure, why not, man? Just you can throw in however many votes we want. Assassino, can you put the visualizer up there for me, brother? Or no? No? Okay, all right, no problem, man. So yeah, don't worry about that. But guys, make sure you get those $, and a lot of hood coming into play. He's gonna send me who's the leader on that front, and here it goes. Like, this is what I'm talking about on NVDA, heading right back towards the top. Filling in the majority of this wick, over 70%, and at that point is when I usually typically avoid it, but anything can happen at this point. We're right at opening price. Is there going to be some key support and resistance levels that we need to keep an eye out on? Not that I see of. We're north of them right now, so that would be at 184.50s roughly, and then there might be a little bit of room to climb, but a beautiful recovery in NVDA to the top side, OB.
Thank you very much. Yeah, no, that thing's coming right back in, and I was just like, I wasn't paying attention to it, and it's ripping right back through highs. 185s potentially coming in, but yeah, this time around, I did definitely manage it a little bit better relative to size. I was in a lot more aggressively here underneath 184s than I am now underneath 185s, because I'm just like, 185s, I think the likelihood of 185s getting clipped is pretty decent, I'd say. As, again, we push up, this 15-minute candle continuing to push up even higher on the Nasdaq session here. So back through VWAP and much above it as we continue. 185s coming in now on Nvidia. So absolute strength, man. That was the reversion. We had that VWAP follow through. That 181 was the place to get in, and the futures are giving us that tailwind as well across the board. So something to watch out for here. Softy still sideways. Apple still at its near its day lows. So it seems like Nvidia is definitely the strongest one out of the bunch there, Joe. So something to watch out for. I gotta manage this one a little bit.
Yeah. Do your thing. All right, man.
Yeah, that 185 is looking very, very interesting.
Very, very, very much so. I mean, it's a strong recovery on the day, guys. Lewis, come on, bro. You know it's always the same story. It is. It honestly is, Lewis. I agree with you, man. We get into panic mode, and then sure enough, a couple months later, everybody's like, yeah. What? Like you forget essentially what happened. But no, I agree with you there, Lewis. You know what you're doing. We've been trading Tesla together for some time and everything along those lines. So Yeah, shout out to Luis Martinez. But yeah, Tesla, they're speaking of the devil here, continuing to grind a little bit higher. And that's what I'm talking about here, though, Luis, is that, like, I think it's such an opportunity. You see a name like META, where at this point you think the sky is falling. Oh my God, yes. Oh, yes, Gorev, man, we're doing it, brother. Yes, this is exactly what we've been waiting for. All right, let's get this out of the way. Let's get our trend lines out of here. I think this might be it, brother. I think this might be it. So let's get involved in some META, considering, right, like this is a big time dive off of this level here. You're down 18% off of that close, not even off the previous high. You're down substantially more. So yeah, I think this is going to be a good time play. You're down 24% off of that previous high. Let's go, Gorev, man. This is exactly what we're looking for, brother. So it's time for us to capitalize on this one. PLTR, what's this one up to? Yeah, right at this support level as well too. Considering we are down approximately 15% from that high. But I think this is the one I really want to sniper mode this here. Let's see how I'm going to play this. I believe it's going to be FBL, considering. And then what does this move up into the gap? You get 6 points there. So your long MetaThesis, save man, woman, peace. We like that 110%. But yeah, let's go here. I think this is going to be it, Gorev. So regardless of what happens, we just obviously want to keep our risk measures in place. You do want to give it probably about $20 or so, which is quite lofty. Looking at Kodak for another leg up, says my guy 2NY. How you been doing, brother? I know you've been in the chat. Your chart doesn't show what symbol you're looking at. Yeah, it does in the top corner, my friend. Up here, sorry. If you guys don't see that, it's always up in this top corner right here where I change everything. So just keep an eye out on that. Big smile. I will play along on meta for a good swing. Help me construct an options play. Bam, let's do that right now. Adam James, Neil, did you see Big L new album drop? Big L's dead. Yeah, Adam James says Big L, he dropped a new album, but I love Big L. He's gone, he's dead. Yeah, maybe an AI one. Shout out to Adam James for that. The way I was taught was to look at the chart and identify where impulse move happens in the past. If you look at the forward chart on the NQ, you will see it bounced around that area. Thank you very much for that, Luis Martinez, and thank you, Adam, for that big L ups. Let's do this right now, Kyle, because we're both probably going to lock this in here. So we're going to go at the money, everything along those lines, because we have a little bit of time here, 15 minutes left. Make sure you get those votes in as well too. But bang, look, it's written in the books. So this is what we're going to do. We obviously want to give ourselves a little bit of time. I don't know how much time you guys are looking to buy here or anything, but 45 days, in my opinion, isn't enough. We're going to go 70 days. It is going to be a little bit expensive, but maybe Farman, maybe possibly, but there's a way that we can reduce this cost, and then when it really starts to work, we can really capitalize on this big time move. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go at the money. It's that simple, right? We're gonna go a little bit at the money or a little bit out the money. 615, we like this strike price. Well, Joe, I don't want to, let's clear that one there. Well, Joe, I don't want to pay $3,900 for this contract combination or for this contract specifically. Okay, cool. Let's do this then. We're gonna go to our vertical spread and we're gonna reduce our costs right now. Okay, get that out of here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to a strike price significantly higher, but it's gonna drastically reduce our cost. So we'll go to the 670s, all right? So we're gonna collect $1,900 there. So that's almost gonna cut our price in half, all right? Just a little bit under. So let's take a look at our profile. What are we risking now? What's our profit factor? Everything along those lines. Let's wait for this to construct. I don't know why it hasn't already. So come on, don't embarrass me right now. Let's exit this and try this over again. Clear all legs. We're stuck on our vertical spread. 615. We're gonna go back up to 670, and we're gonna take a look at the profile. And it doesn't want to. Okay, so essentially what we're gonna do here anyways, we know how much we're going to risk on it. So this trade's gonna cost us $2,000. That's the max that we can lose. But where do we become the most profitable? Is when things start to surpass your break even, and then now when Meta's up to approximately what's that price? 649, 650 is when you really start to break in that cash. So I like this as a potential trade. I don't know why this didn't display itself, but this is what we're looking at. Big SPY and all the individuals who are looking to trade this as an option. It's a drastically wide spread. That's what gives us the ability to become profitable on this. But also note that when this is really working for us, what we're doing now is we're shorting that one call option to reduce our costs and to also limit our downside. But when it starts to work, we can buy back that short option and then allow our contract to roam freely, and that's when we're going to see the greatest appreciation. So, bro, I've been low-key sitting on cash. I'm just holding and hoping not to lose too much of my gains, hoping to reload when the market changes direction. So far, nothing has played out as planned. Hey, man, stick to the gun. So what I've noticed and what I've come to with the overall market is that it takes significantly longer than what we tend to anticipate, and I think that's really important to know. All right, so again, if you think, oh, okay, I'll give this a couple weeks, we'll give it a couple months just in case. Yes, Joey Options in action, says West, y'all. What's up, brother? I haven't seen you in the chat in some time. I know you've probably been lurking around, but let's try to pull up this profile one more time. No, it doesn't want to do that. Why? It's kind of annoying. I wanted us to display our max loss. But regardless, we know what's going on. I think this is going to be a big-time opportunity here in Meta. We just have to gauge what we're specifically like it nice. Along the lines I was thinking, an old dog can learn new tricks. Yeah, always, man. You can always learn. I think, I don't know what great individual said this, but the day you stop learning is the day you start to die. And you always want to be learning. I don't know, it's a little bit dramatic, but I can get behind that. Now, as for 615, where's our primary target going to be? I think that 650 on META is going to be a pretty good area to look at. And what does that give us for a potential profit-wise? You're going to like that, right? Like, no one's going to complain about taking home $4,800 at a 2-to-1 risk-to-reward ratio. And the worst-case scenario in which you can lose, that's not correct because you can't lose that much. So I got to wait for this thing to load. But again, we paid $2,000 for this. That's the most you can lose on that specific trade. Up to 650, we're not going to complain whatsoever. Joe Love from Pakistan, you the best, says Farman Hamza. Nice, brother. I appreciate that. Shout out Pakistan as well too. Much appreciated, brother. And the love is going over to that neck of the woods as well. So Obi Kodak about to make another leg. LFG, he says. What is the ticker on Kodak? KODK. Yeah, that thing's grinding higher. Really high here. But other than that, Obi, that's a little options activity. I'm going to most definitely set that up. Oh, what a big-time breakout in Kodak here. Yeah, so shout out to Kodak Black and Company, punching through some key resistance zones and still continuing on the path to the top side. But other than that, let's rock and roll. Let's see if this meta trade comes into play. I'm looking forward to it. I think there's going to be some good opportunities for a couple-day bounce there, Obi.
Yeah, for sure. That Nvidia, that 185 failure to follow through, if you want to call it, maybe a break of trend, nothing really, just getting aggressive on the tape once again here. Can't really get through 185s and then rips all the way back down. So getting or being as nimble as possible here. Just quick counter trend scalps. You can see the market here as well. First red 15-minute candle as we go into the last 10 minutes of this hour here at 140. So sorry, 150. So yeah, maybe a little bit of a pullback poised here, and coming in to some of these prior levels. 184 is potentially happening as of right now. So yeah. Before I kind of mentioned, this is kind of the area where supply stepped in the morning session. A little bit anticipatory on my part, but I did well to continue getting a little bit more aggressive as it starts to work and as it pulls back off of 185s down into 184s. So even though the long isn't the short isn't necessarily the bigger picture trade that's happening here over the past hour or so, you're still able to take off parts of price action by trading the counter trend like that, right? It's just like, okay, if you're watching the grinding bid, you're just like, okay, I'm too late. But when that action changes distinctly differently, then I do want to get involved in that one as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. So Nvidia, yeah, this is the 185 failure to follow through.
Nice,
pulling back into 184s here. So where's the next trade? That's what I'm looking for as well. After start saying stocks are printing. Yeah, stocks always print, bro. I mean, I see the tape printing all the time. Buyers, sellers, they're always, something's always printing on the tape. The question is, can I join in with those prints, right? So that's the move there. Let's see, I'm looking at Nvidia as well going into the end of the day. If we're gonna pull back in, if sellers are gonna step in once again, 186s, 185s, then maybe I'm looking for that reversion back down into VWAP as well. So market tailwind is definitely there, strong confluence at the same time. Let's see what else we got. TSM, Nvidia, so that was a prior bar break on the 15. Nice, that's coming in, already involved with that one before confirmation. So what else is there? TQs. Okay, yeah, TQs coming. Apple, there it is. There's the next potential mover here. So Apple about to pull in to its day's lows right here. So day's lows coming in at 267, 267.28s here on Apple, and currently trading at 267.70s. So that's coming into this weekly support here as of right now.
Bro,
what do you got?
These guys kill me, man. So listen, I wasn't gonna reply to everything, but Rizzler and then Don Polio made me laugh. So Rizzler says we long gas now, and then Don Polio says damn protein. So I'll laugh, but other than that, I was gonna ignore all the comments because they were childish. Sorry to interrupt you.
No
continue,
worries.
man.
Yeah. So I think that yeah, something important to remember when it comes to this market is that sellers have been very much in charge, right? So if sellers start to step in, you do have to be wary of that. Leon asking, how does that beef stroganoff taste?
Oh man,
I mean, I don't think we have that beef stroganoff today.
We don't got the strogie, man.
So
we don't got the strogie today.
We'll wait and see. What do you got going on?
Oh yeah, nothing really, man. I don't see anything right now. So again, I'm just thinking about this contract combination here for META because I really want to get involved in this here, guys. The chat is mad wild. Too many. yeah, exactly. Adam, James, you guys are comical. Sometimes it annoys me a little bit. I'll be 100% honest. But other than that, I can crack a joke. I like to have some fun as well too. So I'll let you guys get away with that one. But yeah, I'm just trying to go through some things to see why we're not getting this pulled up. Why do you do this thing? It's so frustrating, man. Because I just wanted to see what the risk to reward is and everything along those lines for us. We're on the right strat as well too. So clear all legs. Let's try this one more time. We're gonna turn this off and turn it back on. Let's see. Yeah, I know. Yeah, De Leon, for sure. But I didn't. Again, these guys are just pulling my tail at the end of the day. Okay, let's pull this up. Let's try this one more time here, folks, to see if we can get something that we want. No, we don't want that one there. Let's close one of these. Sorry for the lack of the anticipation, everyone. Let's get this one out of here. AC Slater to that. Let's check the profile here one more time, and it's just being a donkey. Donkey. Annoying me, man. Let's check out FBL. Let's go over to Adara.
So I'm seeing some speculation here on X with regards to IBM and Nvidia. James Altuche, which is he's mostly known as far as I've seen for doing buyout speculations. He's speculating that IBM and Nvidia are secretly in a quantum partnership. So again, pure speculation, but either way, keep an eye on IBM and Nvidia here with this quantum partnership speculation. Back to you.
All right, so I got something to work for us here, guys, but that's going to be on FBL. We got to be cautious when we're trading these derivatives of a derivative. Why? Because the at-the-money IV is going to be substantially higher. I mean, this is March 20th, so this is going to give us a lot more time, but it's drastically cheaper. We can take a look at this profile now. Let's open it back up and see what we got going on. So you have a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio right there, and then essentially what you're risking on this specific trade is $365. But you can see that your max return is around 717, and to capitalize on that, this is going to have to climb drastically higher to $35. And that's not something I'm looking to do. That's $10 higher from now. I think we're just going to have to go with the actual underlying. So we'll be patient and wait for something to come in on META. I think this is going to be the opportunity that we get involved into it. So shortly after this, we got 5 minutes left after the show. I will be on the afternoon rundown, guys, so make sure you get those dollar signs and those tickers in. And then after that, we're just going to construct some things because that's what we're looking forward to do. We waited patiently for this trade to set up, and that's going to be Meta. We'll take a look at the technicals one more time here, considering how important it is. And this is right. This is what we're talking about. This is what we wait for. Boom, gap down, gap down. You do have that isolated print right here, but you can see the selling pressure still displayed within the price action. So this is where I'm like, hey, let's wait. And if you had the cojones there to grab it at 600, then you're already 13 bucks in the money. But it's obviously hard to find the bottom on them. But this is the print that I'm looking for. Regardless, I have to, with that being said, I have to plan it out. So as of recently, full disclosure, I dropped a really big bag on Amazon. Like, I fumbled it drastically. Like, we caught the lows on this. I was in at 213 on Amazon and sold at 22s. When my initial game plan was to hold this through the earnings report, I was willing to accept it go one other way. Now, that's hindsight, but I'm not going to allow the same thing to happen with me in META. We'll pull it up one more time just because I like looking at it. I love running through all the scenarios in my head. And I think I have conviction within this trade. Let's go back in its history. Hammer at the lows after multiple gap down. Look what happens preceding. You get that gap up. Let's find an additional gap down. Same thing. Price action not as clean. Gap down. Indecision prints. Decides to go off to the races. Same thing here. You have aggressive selling. Off to the races. This is a big time gap down. And I was telling you guys for some time that I was planning to trade this 244 gap all the way up to 329. That's a nice trade. And I think that the same thing can happen here in META, considering you're down 25% off of those highs, Obi.
Yeah, I think, sorry, I'm just staring at the tape and looking at some of these Mag 7s as well. But yeah, no, it's a bit of a miss on Amazon there, man. But you know what?
There's always another one.
Where's the next?
Yeah, there's always
the next
another
trade?
one, man.
There's other names that are setting up relatively similar.
100%.
Most of the time as well. So yeah, I'm looking for some good swing setups as well. And I've been kind of saying this because yeah, some of this strength, kind of selling into some of this strength, and then looking for the next trade as well. I don't know when and where we're going to stop. But yeah, so this is some pretty crazy. The
market will display, in my opinion,
it could continue to go up going into the end of the year. Right?
Absolutely. I believe in some situations it will display itself when it's ready to turn around, and that's the exact same thing in which I'm talking about in Meta. Did I hear something in my ear there? Okay, we're gonna go to Adaro, and then we'll let you take it.
I want to talk here about D-Wave, Quantum, QBTS. I just mentioned that individual by the name of James Altucher. I just said that he mentioned, speculation here with IBM and Nvidia. Well, now a couple minutes later here, we get him talking about QBTS. He calls this one a long idea, saying it's, quote, the quantum moonshot that could skyrocket 1,000%. So James Altucher positive here on QBTS as we send you back to Joby.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
We're talking about the potential, like the FLS trade on the market, SPY. For those of you who don't know what that is, Fashion Me Late. A scalp is kind of coined by the SMB boys. There's solid. I guess they call them trade cheat sheets or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some solid stuff if you guys want to check that out. But this is the trade that kind of happened. The Nvidia follow through, right? So we kind of revert, we reclaim, and then we pull back in. Similar kind of push happened here on Nvidia as well. So yeah, good look there. But yeah, I'm looking for swing setups as well. People in this, Roger is saying Archer for potential swing. Maybe, I don't know. I don't necessarily like to get into names while they're getting all the hype. I want to get into names where the chart is showing me an increase in price, or maybe not necessarily an increase in price, but just price acceptance, and it can't really sell off anymore, and we start to get a little bit of a curl. We've seen Michael Noss call them rounded bottoms, so I really like those. So a nice gradual smiley face pattern, right? A nice gradual lift up back into some prior levels after all the selling's kind of out of it, right? So usually those ones eventually catch a bid, right? A good example of that one might be BYND, right? BYND was a name that kind of ran in the past, and it got that bit of a curl as well. But I didn't really have I think this is the right example to use here. But let's just make sure that I'm getting it right. Okay, so never mind. This is not the example I was looking for. So which one is it? 3 hour? Is it this one? Maybe. You know what? No, it wasn't this one. It might have been OpenDoor. All these names, they get so jumbled here. Okay, yeah, perfect. So this one, OpenDoor on a 3 hour, just gradually, just like bleeding, can't really sell off anymore. And we get that nice little rounded shape here with the stair step up. But yeah, I kind of want to get involved when the volume hasn't really stepped in, right? I want to have inventory for the volume injection. That's what I like to call it. I call it the volume injection. Things are dead, not really happening, maybe start to catch a curl, maybe get some good PRs under the belt, and then price actually starts to catch up, and then sentiment catches up as well, and then people start positioning into it, getting in front of a lot of that is what I like to look for, but that's hard to find. That's really hard to find, right? I know a lot of people talk about episodic pivots. I've been looking into some of those. Shout out to the Stock Bee, some great material and content that he also has out there for the swing setups, right? So I think episodic pivots are definitely very, very interesting kinds or moments of price action on a chart, and should definitely be looked at closer. And I'm trying to learn that a little bit better as well. But
sure,
yeah. Other than that, don't really have anything else. And oh wow, it's 2:02.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, I didn't even realize.
Oh yeah, it's done, Neil.
Wow.
Sorry, brother. It's done. It's
What's
done.
happening? What's done?
No, you said how much past 2 can we get OB to go?
How much past 2? Oh.
Yeah, I mean we can go on all day if we like. We can go until 8 p.m. until the market's done. We can talk shop. We can go shop. We can look at countless setups and opportunities.
Eat, sleep, breathe, live, trade.
Exactly. But we're going to allow the big boys to do that for you. We're going to head it off to Neil and Sean. I actually am in the lineup tonight, OB.
Okay.
I got the call up last minute.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
So we're at puck drop 9 p.m.
Nice.
McCormick's Arena.
Wait,
check
what
your
call?
boy. The call up.
For hockey?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought a different kind of call.
No.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I know it is a Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday, man. We're going to go play some hockey.
You know when
man.
that hotline blings?
Ooh. But all right, other than that, guys, you're going to see me over at the big desk momentarily. Send it off to Neil and Sean. See you guys Monday.
Take it easy.
Guys, we're just going to